I'm vengeance.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Mark 124 of the Super Civil Servants podcast. My name is Greg, the Bad Daddy 52, and folks, there is never a wrong time to rock. Am I correct?
I wanna rock.
Absolutely not.
I think so. Funny enough that we were talking about, rock before we got on here, just concerts and all kinds of stuff. But I had that queued up beforehand. And if you're watching Peacemaker, you'll understand. So, Ross and Sarah with me tonight. Ross, how you doing, buddy?
I'm ready to talk TV.
Yes,
There's been a little too much real life this week. I want to watch some TV and talk about it.
I hear you, man. Open up the kimono, relax. Just talk about some TV. There's some good TV to talk about this week, too. So, Sarah loves when I say open up the kimono. I think you get a mental image every time, right?
I probably do. I don't know if it's good or bad.
Just digging on a breeze.
How you doing, Sarah?
Oh, I'm doing well. I've been traveling this week, so I'm tired. I'm going to be traveling next week, too, so I'm going to be tired again. But other than that, everything's good. Life is good. Like I was telling you guys, my birthday month is got a little boat, tied a little bow on the top of it, so I'm super excited about that. Like I said, I get to see Eve 6. I've been waiting almost a little over 20 years to see this band live, and they were coming to Greensboro last year. It got canceled, so then I was like, are you guys coming back? And then I happened to see it tonight, so I'm like, yes, using a little bit out of adult money, because I will, 20 years ago I would not have been able to do that. Not in Greensboro, especially.
Adult money is way more fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I'm super pumped on that. So that's just a little bit of insight into my life right now.
Well, we had a big week in television this week with the finale of Book of Boba Fett, which is going to be something that we have not discussed between the three of us at all.
That's your fault. That's your fault.
I just didn't say anything about what I thought. But
you specifically said you were going to wait.
Did I? See, I can't remember saying that.
Yes, you did. You said I will wait until we talk about it together.
You did. Because I added to that list.
Mm-hmm. It's fun to have the reactions, because I don't know how y'all felt about it. I haven't looked at anything online about it. I have been totally stealth with this finale, other than what I watched and my own thoughts and feelings. So I haven't talked to anybody else at work about it, which is crazy. But we're going to talk about that. But do y'all want to talk about whatever news first we had, or current stuff going on, things we're looking forward to, anything like that? Stuff we're watching now, because I've got some good stuff that I'm watching that we're going to be talking about.
Oh, go with it.
Okay. I don't know if this is going to sound funny. Have y'all seen Tommy and Pam?
No, but I've heard nothing but the great things about it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good, man. The actors they got to play the roles are pretty good. Seth Rogen plays a great role. It's funny. The first 3 episodes came out. I don't know if new ones came out since I've watched the first 3, but I'd recommend it. It's fun. It's not for kids by any stretch of the imagination. Full frontal male nudity. It's just definitely not for kids at all. But if you are a person of my generation, you will appreciate this movie. It's funny, and I would just recommend it for anybody. That's just one thing me and my wife have been watching. I'm going to check and see if there's new episodes, because we watched it last week, so I'm sure there's a new one out right now. Y'all watch anything new? Uh-oh.
Is that a no? Is that a no?
No?
I haven't watched. I mean, I finished Reacher.
Okay.
I think I finished Reacher like earlier on in the week, and then I don't know. I mean, shoot, Peacemaker and Boba Fett. I haven't had time to watch a whole lot this week, so I want to watch Prodigy. The new episode just came back out, so they're off their break. Finally.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Not Prodigy, Discovery.
Oh,
but yeah.
Damn, that's right. Yeah,
I've still nice.
Like I said, I really sucked this week as far as like watching anything. Honestly, I mean, I think Boba Fett was like the only one I was able to watch.
Yeah.
So
my wife's got this show on. It's called Good Behavior. Have y'all ever heard of seeing that? It's actually set here in Statesville, North Carolina. which is crazy because you hear them talk about areas around here. I mean, of course, they move around different places, but it started out as kind of like a weird ass show. Like the first 10 episodes, I was like, "What the hell's going on?" But it wasn't bad, and we're like three seasons into it now. It's not
What's
a
it
bad
streaming
show.
on?
I couldn't tell you. My wife turned it on. If I had to guess, it would probably be Amazon Prime because we were watching Reacher before that. So it'd probably be it'd either be Prime or Hulu. I think it's called I think it's called Good Behavior.
Good Behavior.
Yeah. But it's pretty cool.
If it's on Prime, they got some things. So if it's on Prime, they have some things on there.
Yeah. Well, no, okay. Whatever it's on, it's got to be. It's a TNT original, so it's got to be on
Prime or Hulu.
Yeah, Prime or Hulu. I find it funny watching this show that this is a network show, because I haven't watched cable television in a while. I've watched streaming services from cable, but and I understand in streaming services, they have different rules about things they can say, things they can do, because you pay for this service individually. But I would assume that a TNT original show is a show that comes on network television, correct?
No, those networks got a little racy, especially I remember FX. I mean, because they started to get to where they were showing some stuff you're like a little questionable. Now I realize it's cable / whatever, but still it's like.
Yeah,
they followed the 10 p.m. rule. If it came on after 10 p.m., they were like, "You can go ahead and pull that shirt off."
I'm telling you, there was stuff they were saying, and I was like, "Wait a second, this is network television. This is what they put on network television," and we wonder why.
But I never really consider that network. I mean, because it wasn't your typical. I think ABC, NBC, that kind of thing.
Well, it's TNT. I mean, that's on a basic cable package, I would think, isn't it? Wouldn't be? I don't know. I haven't had cable in forever.
I think they're probably pushing the envelope a little bit more to get more viewers, I'm sure now. So
yeah. But I mean, stuff I don't even. Well, I probably said stuff worse than this in the show, but I'm not going to repeat it. No, but it's not a bad show, man. It's about a hitman and a woman. But I'm not going to go any further detail than that. Go check it out. It's only we've really gone through a lot of it, so I mean, it can't be more than I don't even pay attention because it just keeps rolling through. When I turn
it's on Hulu. It's on the Hulu. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'd recommend it, man. Thriller, and we just caught our eye because it was in Statesville, so I was like, well, check it out.
Well, I mean, how much more is going on in Statesville?
Oh man, apparently it's a popping place.
So. I mean, I guess for trafficking, I mean, I-77 40. I mean,
yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
That's all Charlotte, it gets a little racy.
But yeah, that's all the new stuff I've been watching, man. Other than this network, the stuff we're going to be talking about, network stuff. The stuff we're going to be talking about here.
I did see that Reacher did get renewed for a second season.
Nice.
So
8.5 on IMDb reviews. So.
Did you finish it?
I have 2 episodes left.
Okay.
I think 2. I may only have 1. I think 2. I've got to go back and start because I looked at it today. It only has 7 episodes, right?
8, I think.
8. Okay, I went back and looked at the titles, and I didn't recognize the last 2 titles, but I may have watched the second to last one episode. I'm not sure, but I'm almost done. I'm gonna finish it tonight, I think.
What is his name? Alan Richardson, I think is his name.
Yeah, I think that's his
name.
Dude,
he's killing it as Reacher.
Yeah.
I mean, he does such a fantastic job. God, so good. And the show doesn't need a whole lot. I mean, the show is really, it's a slightly psych, but mostly shoot 'em up, bang bang kind of show. I mean, they have the drama, they have him trying to be smarter than everyone else in the room, but at the same time, man, he's just the show is perfectly acted, directed, and I haven't found anything that was going to be bothering to me. I thought Amazon's going to make it. I'll see what it's about. But then what really got me excited was that once I also saw that they were going to renew it, that they're coming out with a live action Blade Runner show. So they're doing that 2099 or whatever it is. I hope I said that right. Whatever year they're planning on doing Blade Runner in. Yeah, but apparently that picked up a whole head of steam. And so everyone's bringing all sorts of stuff. What did I mention last week we were getting? It might have been the week before. Oh, the live action He-Man from Netflix.
I'm still on the fence about that one.
I mean,
that one.
You know what? At this point, I'm like, give it to me. And then, you know, if enough of your stuff on your app sucks, then yeah, I'll stop paying for it. But I was just telling Greg, like, I just got the 1 month of Peacock for the Super Bowl just to see what they're going to do. Because at the same time, like, I'll binge through like a whole bunch of like Parks and Rec and stuff that's on the Peacock app. Pay 1 month for it, but at the same time, NBC doesn't come through very well.
It's a trap.
Where my antenna is at. So I'm going to try 1 month and see what it's about. Because I mean, honestly,
set an alarm.
Everything else is on there. Oh, I will.
Set an alarm, buddy. I'm telling you. Same thing I did with Stars. Now I'm a member. I'm telling you.
I do that stuff.
Like so.
I'll just, unless there's something else that you were watching, I'll just go into like the rest of this news.
Do it.
Let's see. Netflix is losing the Marvel shows. So if you're into the Marvel shows, I think they're keeping Punisher for a little bit longer because it was one of the newest ones. But they are getting rid of all the other shows that they had. Disney's probably preparing to try to get them all back somehow, some way. That trailer that we watched last week for Netflix with all the new movies, that thing took 8 months to shoot. I thought that was really cool just because they took all the footage from the movies that they were making. They shot it while they were making the movie, held on to it, and pieced it all together.
That's why it took 8 months.
I get that.
I got you. Not because it was such a marvelous production that they're created because
right.
It's accumulation.
Okay, that makes sense.
Take 437. We had it on take 1. We had it on crazy. 1. Let's see. HBO unfortunately canceled my Boondocks revival. I'm a humongous Boondocks cartoon fan, and I don't know if you guys follow a whole lot in the news, but was it Regina King who does the voices? Like her son passed away, and so I'm pretty sure that was like the last straw of that whole thing. So now that's not happening, unfortunately, because that's a really cool series. If you've never watched it, it takes you a little while to get into it. You got to be, well, I'm going to bring it up anyway. Futurama's coming back. But if you're into like whatever type of animated show you're into, like that one was really cool for me.
So I've never watched Boondocks, but I've of course heard of it. And the way I look at shows like Family Guy and Futurama, stuff like that, I love watching those shows. I don't like have to watch them in series order or like in this season. Just put it on for me, whatever a story is.
Right.
I feel like I don't need to follow a real story with there. I know that if you watch it through the seasons, you learn to grow love the characters more and see stuff, but with those kind of shows, I can just put them on anytime and watch them. Is Boondocks kind of like that, or do you need to follow the storyline?
Boondocks can definitely progress like certain parts of their stories as the seasons go on, but no, you can totally pretty much just about put anything on. There's not it's almost like a ghetto Fresh Prince of Bel-Air kind of. It's on HBO. You got to give it a shot. So at some point.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Hang on 1 second. My daughter's trying to get in the door.
Okay. But no, it's I watched it. I think it was in like the early 2000s. I think it was when it was coming out, and it was like an Adult Swim show.
Oh, okay.
So, like it's cussing galore, not kid friendly. I mean, these two little kids running around the house shooting each other with airsoft guns, and I mean, like it's really crazy the extent that they go to. But I mean, like it's so like on the nose. It's kind of a little South Park-ish with some of the things that they make fun of, like in the real world. But well, there's seasons of it, and all I can tell you is that we're not going to get any more because unfortunately they're canceling that reboot. So, like I said, Futurama's coming back. Hulu definitely has 100% finished all of. Well, I don't know if they finished shooting it or making it, but they are definitely bringing it back. It was rumored for a long time. I didn't know we were getting a National Treasure show.
Yeah, I saw something about that.
Do we need a National Treasure show?
No, we don't need it, but we don't need half the things that we get.
It's true.
I remember seeing that because somebody got casted, and it was like I can't tell you the name. I'm real
No,
prepared right now.
They me neither. Clearly, they just cast a woman for
Live
the role.
action National Treasure.
Oh no, I can't. Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yes.
They cast her, and so it's going to be a show that they're doing on Disney Plus. And look, those movies to me are real fun. I don't know what it is. I
love those
love them.
movies. Yeah, I love those movies. It's like the historic. It's like just a fun take on the historical aspect with just like the Indiana Jones kind of
It's
background
like
or
the
whatnot.
Amazing Race, but at the same time,
Yeah.
it's got just enough like historical context to it.
Okay, this is not Journey to the Center of the Earth. This is not the one with the Rock, right?
This is the one with the magic map
Nick
on the
Cage.
back of the
Nicolas Cage.
Declaration
That's
of
what I was thinking.
Independence.
Yeah, the
Gotcha.
Declaration of
Nicolas
Independence.
Cage.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like this big.
Gotcha.
But
Just making sure.
it looks like
I like Nicolas Cage. His craziness is awesome.
Yeah, looks like Zeta Jones she'll play a badass billionaire, black market antiquities expert, and treasure hunter who lives by her own code.
I could see that.
Ooh, okay.
Get him on, Wayne. Yeah. Bring it.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Of course, I'll give it a shot.
Hey,
why not? Give it a watch.
It's a big name. It was attached to a show that I didn't know was going to exist, and at the same time, I like the movies, so I thought it was pretty fun. Little triangle, bringing it all together.
Yeah, Cobra Kai. Think about it, man. You would have never thought you could have made a show about Karate Kid that would have been so good.
I know, right?
And give everything a chance. Give everything.
Everything.
That's why. That's what exactly. That's why they give you a lot of shows. Will give you the first 3 episodes. The first get a nice big old bite. Nice meaty bite of this, and see.
Yeah, it's like
give it a chance.
Yeah, get y'all entranced with it, and the next thing they just cancel it. So that's the best part.
Right. It's happens sometimes. That is true. 2 good shows. That does happen. Yes.
Well, you want to talk about something they're not canceling? Ahsoka. Yes. You get Ray Stevenson is coming into it now, so you have another name attached to the project. And do you know who Ray Stevenson is?
Mr. Maul, correct? No, that's Ray.
No, that was Ray Parker.
He was the voice of
Ray Park.
I thought, Ray Park.
Ray Park. I think Ghostbusters.
He was the voice of one of the Mandalorians. Was it Gar Saxon?
I don't remember who he voiced, but I do know that. I mean, I've watched him way back since he was in like Rome on HBO. The man has been in all sorts of stuff. He played Punisher one time. I'm pretty sure he played was the Punisher 2, I think he was. He's been all over the place. He's got his own couple of shows. He played a security person for one of those shows that we watch. Either way, he's attached to the project. He's going to be the baddie or the villain. So be another face to look out for. They keep adding names to this, which is interesting because I thought that they'd be further along, but I guess there's no rush. Because I do know that, we're getting that Obi-Wan, and I am really, really hoping that Sunday is going to bring me some trailers.
Oh, it better. I'm telling you. It's like now we've got the poster, we've got a date. Start giving us something.
Yeah. Yeah, you showed us the poster the other day in a text message, and I was like, wow, that looks really, really good. Everything I wanted more.
And there's a date on it.
I want to see that sculpture of Ian McGregor playing Obi-Wan Kenobi, carrying his clone armor with the lightsabers dangling off the backpack. I have the picture somewhere, but it's all over the place. Like it was I think it started off as like a fan-made sculpture, but they turned it into like almost like a sideshow piece.
Yeah,
man, it's ridiculous because it came at a perfect time after like enough years of Revenge of the Sith had passed and like Clone Wars was on television at the same time. You're like, I need something. And they brought that thing out and it had his face. He looked like he'd aged about 15 to 20 years. I mean, it was ridiculous.
You going to wet your britches if you see it?
Maybe.
Kind of a moment.
So hot in here.
Yeah.
Space Jesus came out of nowhere.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to lie. I probably will too. I haven't even seen that sculpture, and just hearing you describe it, I'm like, yes, give it to me. I want to see it.
Oh, I'll find it. I will find it, and I will hook you guys up with it. But that is something that I've been. The moment that they mentioned an Obi-Wan show, and I was like, that's what I need. I need that version of Obi-Wan Kenobi. I want it. I don't even care because the story should be very self-contained. And a lot of people are really confused. You realize how the GA, the general audience, is really confused about what Obi-Wan has to do with Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett because it has nothing to do with it. Not unless he buries something and then years in the future, Mandalorian or Boba Fett find it at Tatooine somewhere because there's how many decades are we talking here? 18 to
probably
2 to 3 decades.
Do you think 2 to 3? You think? I mean, 'cause I'm trying to think about how old Luke is in this situation. Is he that? Because we're thinking about from New Hope, right? Luke's age from New Hope would be.
He'd be about 18. He'd be about 18 in New Hope, and so.
Do you think he's about 38 right now in Mandalorian? I could see that he just looks younger.
No, but what I'm saying is, it would be from the time frame that they're using right now, the 5 to 6 years after Return of the Jedi.
Right.
That has the Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett, right?
Right.
Obi-Wan takes place after Revenge of the Sith, before A New Hope. So that right there is about 2 to 3 decades.
Gotcha.
Of how much time that we're talking from where we are now to going backwards.
Gotcha.
So 4, 5, and 6 have not happened from the time that we're jumping back to.
Wow, it's going to be interesting. You're right. I guess there is absolutely no way they can't connect. Yeah. So I knew they couldn't just because, but I didn't think about how much time had gone in between it. The way you laid it out like that, that makes total sense. So this is almost like a prequel show.
Yeah, they fill into the holes. It's like from this, there's this little gap of time, and they're going to fill it in. And what we're wondering is what's been going on? Mm-hmm. What's been happening? Tell me. I want
to know. I want to know. But yeah, that's pretty much. There wasn't a whole lot, but I feel like Friday is just a dump day, so that we have that one good thing going for us. They just dump the news, and we keep getting all these casting, the new cast drops and everything else, which is real interesting. And then at the end of the week, also, if they cancel something that they don't want you to really know about, they'll be like, do it on Friday. That way, no one's paying attention.
All right. Yeah, I think you're right. It's kind of been slow with news. There's nothing really else going on. Do y'all want to get into the finale of the Book of Boba Fett?
I just wish you could drop the theme music right there.
Yeah. It would be pretty cool. They'd probably shut me down, though. Because how long I played it. I could play a snippet.
Copyright.
We're going to play a trailer later anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But actually, no, we weren't. We're not going to play that trailer anymore. I forgot. But
you can do that if you want. If you want to go ahead and jump on the trailer before we get into it.
Possibly. You talking about that one, Sarah? That was the one you sent us earlier? I have it loaded up. Well, I don't have it loaded up, but I can load it up. They'll talk about it. This came out 5 hours ago when you'd sent it to us. But it's mostly footage we've seen.
Right.
Correct.
The thing that what really caught my eye was the fact of, you see, it was Dr. Fate. So obviously I like that character. Plus the fact that my son was Dr. Fate for Halloween. So that's what I was telling you guys. I have a feeling that helmet is going to come with us to the theater when we see that movie. So it was just because I think they did show something. Didn't they show a trailer at Fandom, if I'm not mistaken?
I don't remember when I've seen this, but I've seen this.
I believe they did. It was something, or it was around that time.
They showed the Black Adam trailer, but they didn't have any of that stuff in there, right?
Yeah, with the additional characters in it. So, and it was really interesting because I even let Brian, he saw it too. He's like, "Have you seen this?" I'm like, "Yeah," but I actually beat him to something. So, and it was really interesting because it's you see this DC montage that starts, before it. Because when I first saw it, I was like, "Wow, you see Batman, you see all this, all this." I'm like, but it made me get a little more excited for all the DC content we've got coming out.
It really, really did. Like, it really, really got me excited, and that's what me and Ross were talking about before the show even started with this, is, like, this is all stuff I've seen. Like, I don't remember every little second of it, but for the most part, it's stuff that I've seen and known about, but it just gets me so damn excited, especially with the
But it's
Batman stuff.
solidifying the fact that it's coming. We're getting it
Yes.
now instead of
That's
just
exactly what I
hearing
said,
about
Ross, wasn't it? That's exactly what I said right before the show. I was like, it makes me feel better that I know now, even though I knew it was. I feel more confident that this is going to come. You know?
My response was, yeah, finally.
I'm still with the
There you go.
Flash.
There's your
I've always
brother.
said until I'm sitting in the theater watching it, I'm still not going to believe it.
It's a sad
Yeah.
thing to say.
I mean, the more and more I see it with the Flash, the more it makes me feel better about that. And by the way, I'm thinking that this might be awesome, this Flash movie. So, but then we got this snippet for Black Adam here too.
Well, the thing about Black Adam is, it's like for so long, The Rock has just like played it up, and this is almost like his passion project. So it's got to be good. I mean, I'm trying not to go in with expectations, but I mean,
he made you have expectations with everything that he said about it.
Exactly. So I'm like, all right, dude. But I've seen a lot of his films, and I'm not talking about like Fast and Furious or anything like that. I've seen, other films, and he's pretty damn funny. So now I'm curious to see. And he looks like a damn superhero unto himself. I mean, this cat, he's got to have some kind of superpowers we don't know about. I mean, I don't know, I know he's got the people's eyebrow and all that kind of shit, but I mean, this dude is like massive. So I'm just really curious to see him in this type of role. I'm just really curious.
He's one of those actors that I've seen grow from, Ross, when you and I were younger watching wrestling, to the first few movies that he was in, to Tooth Fairy and stuff like that, to really becoming this person he is now. And he's one of the most popular guys in the world, I think, or one of the most money-making people in the world, I'm pretty sure. So he's been successful, and you're right, this is a passion project for him. I can't remember a time, and of course there was, hearing about The Rock and not hearing him linked to Black Adam, wanting to play this role, whether it was fan casted or him talking about it or something. It's been that long that I've heard him talking about this. So I'm excited for it. It looks good.
No, it looks fantastic. I mean, just it's it's a character. It's like one of those things. It's a character, general audience may not know about. So now it's like not to compare it to anything Marvel, but it's like with Guardians, that was a cast of characters that nobody was really familiar with, and there was like great success for that. So now having a DC product, that I'm hoping that it will have like the same type of reaction to the general audience. So now it's like, oh, well, who was this? Let's kind of dive deep into it. Let's find out more about this character. So I'm kind of excited about that. I mean, yes, you got back. You've got the trifecta, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, but now, you're getting to all these other DC characters. Let's pull them out because there's a ton of them out there. So
I think Suicide Squad was meant to be like a Guardians of the Galaxy type thing, where they took a lot of characters that most people wouldn't know about and tried to make them funny and cool, and people liked them.
Obscure.
It didn't hit that same mark. I think that this movie, with the characters you're seeing with the Atom Smasher and all the different Hawkman and Dr. Fate and all the different people you see in this, that's going to be more of their success story, like Guardians of the Galaxy, depending on how much these characters are in this movie and how deep we really get to dive into them. Because I'd love to see some solo movies of some of these characters, or maybe that's the path they want to lead us down with this movie. But you're getting.
I'm curious to see what they're going to do with Dr. Fate, because now they had cast of Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate. So I'm like, I mean, I don't know. Is he that?
I just want a path. I want a path. I want something that's, because I mean,
you want a story to follow, a goal, an objective, right?
I mean, like I hate the fact that they keep going back to the well with their main people, and I mean, I love the Batman, I love the Superman, I love the Wonder Woman stories. I feel like, I mean, like, you see Wonder Woman 84, and I'm like, ouch, it hurts. It took them how long to come out and to give you the Justice League movie that everyone wanted to see. Now that they throw in the Batman with with these universe stories, like I felt like that was just a little out of place, even though like it's gonna be a good movie. Everything that we've seen about it looks great.
It's
And
like continuity. It's like you want that continuity. That
and I'm cool
continuous.
I'm cool with them not being in the same universe, but at the same time, like I don't want to be billed that they were supposed to be a part of the same universe. I don't need the explanation if there doesn't need to be one there. Just say this the Batman movie, and then that's enough for me. But when you start trying to blend it all together into like a teaser trailer with everything else, I'm like, but the rest of these, you told us that we're going to try to be a part of something. Shazam, or not Shazam, but Black Adam was coming out of somewhere that was a little bit different. And once again, you guys have hit the nail on the head for me. Flash, Black Adam, what are we doing? Why are we taking so long? If everything was falling apart, you might as well just thrown it out there and made your money, especially before COVID hit.
Yeah.
But, like everything's been a real post-hence thought process afterwards. So I don't know where, I know they're hoping that this year everyone's going to start being able to get back something. But, I keep seeing like the comparisons, like I mean, no MCU versus DC war thing on this.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that I've seen all the comparisons of like, did Spider-Man set the bar too high for the Flash? But it's all about timing. I mean, we all know that, Spider-Man hit a very perfect time, like right before shit was getting stupid again. And then they pushed Morbius. So is that push because, they're really trying to make money off of it? Because that movie right there, I don't know how long that one's been, I guess, ready to come to theaters, but it seems like they pushed it a couple times because the last time seemed like it was COVID, but the time before that kind of just felt like they were just trying to get it out.
Well, Morbius was supposed to come out the end of January, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then they pushed it back to what?
Yeah, first week in April or something like that.
It was like March or April, something on those lines.
1st of April. So, yeah, but I mean, what I'm saying is, just at some point, just put your movies out. Like if you want to start fresh, get your junk out of the pipeline. Which I'm not calling the movies junk because I haven't seen it. There could be absolutely fantastic. My favorite movies.
Like, stop holding on to it. Just give it to us. Just give it to us.
Yes. I don't need the procrastination anymore because I keep getting more tired. I'm like, yeah. Okay.
I can't keep up with the dates. It's like I have a date. Exactly. I say, all right, I've got this. Then it's like, oh shit. Okay, what? What do you say? It's got because I can't remember but so much.
Well, I kind of agree with you there, though, Ross. Is just put it out. I mean, I don't want a project rushed, but when it comes to money, I feel like I don't know why there's better times for movies. I guess maybe summer might be better times for movies, but I feel like if you put a good movie out and people are expecting to see a really great movie, if you made people interested in it, it shouldn't matter. People are going to go see it if they want to go see it. I mean, I live in a fairly big city, or right next to Winston-Salem, which is a fairly big city, and I can honestly say, no matter what movie I've ever seen in my life, I've never gone to a movie theater where I couldn't get a ticket. The closest it's ever been, and I shit you not, was this ticket that I bought to see the Batman on March 1st. There was only like 9 seats left in the whole house. But I didn't even know about this pre-screening, but of course it's a pre-screening, so that could be why. But so I don't think, I truly think that people don't have problems going to movies and seeing movies. I don't think people are going to flood the theaters no matter what the movie is right now. Even with, I mean, look at the reception with Spider-Man. I agree with you. Put them out there. Let people come see the movies. I think they're going to do it. I'm going to. As soon as they hit theaters, I'm going to see them do it. Yeah, love them. Batman coming up. So, I don't know, man. What else? Anything else about this DC stuff coming up other than being exciting?
No one's really mentioned Aquaman.
Well, because to be honest with you, I know nothing about Aquaman other than I knew there was a sequel coming. I saw him in a different suit. Looks cool. I really enjoyed the first Aquaman. I'm pretty sure I'm going to enjoy this one. I mean, I'm going to go see it. They've already got my money. If I could pre-buy the ticket right now, I would.
I know. That's the thing about it. It's like we're ready to see these films. Freaking release them.
You should be able to do that. Like have like an account with like your movie theater, and they have these are the days these movies are coming out. You just go ahead and pre-buy all these tickets. That way you have all year to plan for it. You already have your spot. All right. Well, y'all want to start talking about what's Tony said here? Back in the day before Netflix and streaming, the movies sold all the time. That's true. That's a very, very good point, Tony. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm just a guy who likes to go see certain things in the theaters. I'm not going to go see all things in theaters, but most of these movies that I talk about on here, I'm probably going to try to go see in theaters if I got a shot. But that's a really, really good point.
I'm guilty. You guys have heard me say it time and time again. Like, if I can watch it at home, like, I made a reason behind like having the entertainment center. Like, I want to be able to like watch nice things. And at like a really, really good comparable level, and not have to worry about.
I do remember going to the theater, Friday or Saturday night, going, okay, let's see this movie. It's like, oh, it's sold out. Seriously, this is way before you could pre-buy all that. We actually went and had a ticket.
Yeah,
stadium seating was only in stadiums.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't have the reclining seats or beverage services or anything, that kind of stuff. It was like, sodas and popcorn. That was it.
Yep.
I have to rethink my statement that I made just a moment ago about how, like, when these theaters come out and movies come out in theaters, like I want to go see them and everything else, because I think about what you were saying, Ross, of like, you're sold on seeing a movie at streaming at home. And I thought about it and I was like, okay, if The Batman was available to stream on HBO Max, would I have bought that ticket? And I honestly can't say that I would have. I can't say that I would have.
I would.
Because I already and as much as I want to tell myself, yes, I'd love to go see this in theaters, I can't genuinely tell you no. Like, if I could see it 3 days later,
you would probably see it at the house first, but then you would definitely go see it in the theater.
No, that's true. That's a good point. If I liked it that much, I could hate it, but I highly doubt that. But yeah, that's true. But still, like, I can't promise that I would have this ticket right now.
Because that you can go home and sit down and watch it. It doesn't matter if it's 4 or 5, 6 hours from like the time that you make it home and like everyone's asleep and finally you get to sit down. But at the end of the day, you know that you can get it that day. So it makes a humongous difference. I mean, it plays a real mental aspect there.
Tony says Batman needs to be seen in theaters, and I agree with him. That's probably another reason why there's a possibility I would buy. But I'm up in the air. Like I said, the option wasn't there. I have tickets now, so these are
the type of films that were made to see in the theater.
Good point. There are a lot of,
but they're the type of films that don't win awards. Imagine that.
The award shows are shams, man.
Well, I know that they are, but at the same time, like, this is what people are going to go see. These are the things that like sell out. Dare I say, like a month? They used to be able to sell. Look what Endgame did. The records that it had. I mean, Titanic is not a fantastic thing to put up against that. And I mean, Avatar was pretty good in like a movie theater. But at the same time, look what it did. 0 accolades, I mean, like and anything that really means anything, which I know the awards don't really mean shit. I'm just saying, why not? They're the things that are selling tickets.
We can't sit at their table, man. That's what it is. They don't want us to sit at their table.
I don't want to have a conversation with them anyway.
I've never quite understood the criteria for like some of these awards. I'm thinking, okay, because if you're looking at cinematography, if you're looking at costumes, if you're looking at, I'm like, are you and some of the shit that they nominate, who the hell sees it? I mean, it's not my type of films I'm gonna see. Right. So I'm just thinking, but then again, a lot of folks that nominate these films and vote for these films, they are the ones that in essence made the films.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So it's kind of like, with us, what kind of films would we pretty much nominate? So it's kind of like, what are you used to? Everybody has different criteria for certain things. I mean, it's.
Well, I just know that whenever I like pass by the movie theater and they have the listings of the movies, there's not something that I see on the listings that I can usually look at and be like, I have no damn idea what that is. And if there is, I look it up. And if there's a movie that's really, really popular and really, really good, like I said, I don't see everything, but if it's good enough to win an award, I'm at least going to hear about the movie. Then when the awards come out, or like they announce the nominees, and I haven't heard of 5 of the 7 movies they put out, I'm like, what the hell is this? And it makes me feel dumb. It really does. But I know there's no way that I'm that uncultured or I don't know like what how you could say it, but am I wrong? Like, does that how y'all
No.
feel too? Or most of the movies, what the hell are they?
Look, I understand the reason behind all of this, and I know I know the whole reason why they have limited releases. I know the whole reason why Netflix will put a movie in theaters for 1 month. Birdman.
Yeah.
It was Michael Keaton's just second best bird style movie that he's ever done. No.
He has multiple flying animal movies now.
He does.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I do understand why they do the things they do. I just don't like it. It doesn't make sense to pop culture nerd fans. You know, I mean, like it doesn't make sense to any of us because at the end of the day, none of that stuff does. We're also not the artsy fartsy types that are going to sit there and try to turn around and watch all these specific things. Like
let's make our own award show. Let's do it. Let's do it, man. Let's start it up right now. We're starting it up.
It's gonna be.
This is the night.
Be like the league. You get the Shiva.
Right. Man, our own award show. What are we gonna? Tony says he couldn't watch Birdman. I don't remember.
It was strange.
Pretty sure I've seen some of it. Yeah.
But that's the thing about it. It's like a lot of these films in the last couple of years. I couldn't tell you what the films were. Much less go out and watch them.
But you don't think that's because you just haven't heard them? Like a lot of them are foreign films, which I understand foreign films deserve their rights. But I mean,
it's like I said, Shape of Water. I
know I'm one person.
Interspecies relationships. And I'm like, why do we need that?
Like I said, I know I'm one person, and there's lots of other people out there that like a lot of stuff that I don't like. So I could be speaking totally out of turn here.
That's the thing about it because. You know, hopefully, you still have these films being made. Hopefully, they're films that you want to see because everybody has different interests. You know, sometimes you kind of stumble across some movies like, oh, I like that. Didn't realize I would like that. You know, but then again, you kind of just still fall back into your genre that you're interested in. It's just like I love sci-fi. I mean, there's some crazy ass sci-fi out there, and there's some really cheesy sci-fi out there, and then there's sci-fi like what the hell is this? I wouldn't call that sci-fi. You know, it's just there's so many different levels, and it's hard to hit every single one of them.
It is. It's hard to even please us with the stuff that we are getting. So
exactly.
Well, the beauty is we have so much of it now. You can pick and choose whatever you want. You know. All right. Well, y'all want to start? Y'all want to break down the this season finale of the Book of Boba Fett, which I don't think gets a second season. I think this was the just a short story. Not saying you won't see Boba Fett again. I don't think it's going to get a second season. But we haven't shared any thoughts. Sarah, I'll start with you. Give me your thoughts on the finale.
Well, when I saw who the director was, it explained a lot. Because he's not really my favorite. I'm not really a big fan of Robert Rodriguez. I know he does a lot more of the action type episodes, but for this one, it was just weird. It was weird. I mean, I like the story. I like the fact that everything kind of came together, but some of the choices made and it was just weird. It was just not as strong as previous episodes. And I'm not just saying, with The Mandalorian or with, all the other like Ahsoka and Luke and Grogu and all this kind of stuff. It was just some shit was just weird. I feel like the choices they made and of course, that obviously with the mods, I mean, they were just like odd characters anyways, but I mean, I don't know. It was just odd. I mean, the only thing I have to say is there were probably about 3 scenes where I'm watching this and I'm just like, whoa. It's like, what did just happen? I'm going to go ahead and go full spoiler. So I'm just going to warn you right now. Road to Rancor. So that was high up on my list. Low on my list was the way Cad Bane went out. I thought that was kind of bullshit. I know, and that's another thing we talk about too. I don't know, but overall, I mean, I did enjoy the whole finishing up the story of with the Pikes and taking over and just Boba just kind of handling his business, but he just seemed kind of flat. I don't know if it was just kind of like, we're gonna do this. It was just kind of like, I'm the boss, my town, we're gonna handle this shit. I mean, there was like really not a lot of emotion, whereas maybe it's just the Mandalorian in him. I don't know. It was just kind of weird. It was just a weird episode altogether. I don't know. But I felt like it wrapped up things. But still, Cad Bane went out like a bitch. And I'm like, really?
He did.
Is that that was just, I was not expecting that. Let's put it that way. After all, what it's led up, and granted, maybe not everybody's seen Clone Wars or Rebels or that kind of thing, but I was like, I kind of expected a little bit more on that one.
Agree. What did you think, Ross? Initial.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you. I think that they are going to come out with something else after this. I mean, they called it the Book of Boba Fett, but I think that they have more story they could totally tell, and they have everyone on board. I don't think anyone's going to want to jump ship off of this project if they come back and say they want to do the next chapter in the Book of Boba Fett, or whatever they want to choose to call it.
The Books of Boba Fett. Plural.
As we talk about it, I mean, I can kind of like give reasons why to that, but overall, watching this, Greg, you say all the time that it's pizza. It's better than pizza. I mean, it's like the best kind of pizza. It was Star Wars and all of this stuff. Look, I don't agree with all of the choices that they made. But I'm going to tell you right now, I sat and watched this episode, like the last one, like the one before it, and even the ones before that. All of them were just giving me Star Wars all over the place.
Face, neck, and chest, baby.
Star Wars all over your face, all over it.
Yes. I don't know what to tell you that, I mean, like, especially because like I needed a good show. I needed something to kind of like take me out of stuff. And like when I watched this, I was in it. Like all 60 whatever minutes, I was in it. Everything that they chose to do felt like it came from the previous episodes, and I can nitpick it to death, but at the same time, like I don't even like to watch it the first time. I sat down, I shut up, I turned it on, I listened to it, and I was enthralled. Like I was like a kid in front of a TV. Like if I was 4 or 5 years old, and just enthralled with the fact that there's a screen with moving pictures on it.
So you paid attention.
Yeah. I mean, I don't hate the series. I think of what I thought it, but then of course I heard it, so now I can't take credit because it wasn't. Now I actually heard someone else say it. They could have done something completely different with the Mandalorian pieces. Mm-hmm. It could have been. I don't think they need to focus so hard on it in the show, but I don't see a reason why they didn't have to, because I think that they want to build that relationship between these two, because I don't think Tamora Morrison is really doing a bang up job of like acting. I don't want to take anything away, but at the same time, we keep saying the whole entire time, like, I don't want to see his face. Put the mask on.
Yeah.
Like, look, Mandalorian works wonders. We haven't seen him take his mask off, but the 1 or 2 times in Mandalorian, we don't need it. Like, we're okay with masked characters. We're Star Wars fans. We grew up with masked characters. It's okay. Yeah. And I think that him, like the fight between him and Cad Bane, like when he pulls his helmet off, I'm like, they had to do it, didn't they? Like they just couldn't leave his helmet on. The whole thing could have been like a great setup, but they had to take his helmet off again. I'm just like, damn. But I mean, like the first time watching it, not even taken aback. Like the whole entire time, just like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen?
I know, and I got a lot of emotion out of that. I mean, that's what's so crazy. It's like there were certain scenes, just like it made sense, but it was just kind of odd. But yet, I'm still, like I said, just audible gasp, like, that kind of, and I mean, and that's how I kind of judge a lot of things. It might not be perfect, but if you get a reaction and it's not like, as long as it's not that type of reaction, I mean, I feel like it works. Odd, but it works.
Okay. So like I said, we haven't spoken about our thoughts about this since we've seen it. This is the first time I heard Joe's thoughts, and I honestly am really surprised. I thought that both of y'all were going to come in here with the absolute love for this episode and rave about how great it was, because it was a good episode.
I'm a big fan of it. The series just wrapped, so I just have to say that, like, a couple of things overall. You asked overall.
True. But I think y'all are more on my level with this, where it was a good episode, and I enjoy the Book of Boba Fett, the show, but I enjoy Mandalorian way better, and that's why the 2 episodes of Mandalorian are, from everybody I've spoken to about the show, are known as the best episodes of the show. Now, Ross, I agree with you. I think they could have taken that and moved that around. They could have sprinkled a little bit of that story into every episode of Book of Boba Fett. And I think it would have made it a little more interesting instead of having 2 episodes focused fully on that. But as far as this episode goes, as far as the finale, there were some moments, like you said, Sarah, where I was like, oh, I'm so glad I got to see that. And it was pretty cool. Cad Bane did go out like a bitch, and I was upset about that. Overall, cool they wrapped up this story. I don't think it'll get, like I said, I didn't think it would get a season 2. It may have already been announced for all I know. But I don't think you're done seeing this character. I just don't like the way they handled, like, it seems like at the end the whole thing was respect, and it was like, Boba Fett's finally fast enough. That's all I can say. Like Barry, finally fast enough in the last episode.
Yeah, but go ahead.
Yeah,
I want to interrupt.
No, it's just the episode for me was very anticlimactic, is what I can say. That's what got me, is because after the last 2 episodes with the Mandalorian, especially all the stuff that we got in the previous episode with Ahsoka and the deputy, what's his name, Timothy Oliphant's got a name. Yeah, I want to say Banth, but I thought I was going to be wrong. And just all the characters you got to see, I was like, okay, they are really building up for a huge finale here. And I think that because I didn't get that, I'm not fulfilled with it. Like, it wasn't a bad episode, but it wasn't what I expected. It was kind of reminds me of a Titans finale. Not a bad episode, but not what I expected, and they could have gone a total different direction. Some dog is mad about something.
They're hearing stuff. Just don't pay no mind to them. Just pay no mind to them.
No, you're
the
fine.
hounds in the back. It's fine.
Yeah. But yeah, and honestly, that's kind of what I was going to come in with it, describing it as. It kind of, they tightened it, kind of, where it's not terrible, but man, I was expecting a lot more, and some decisions they made, it was just like, well, okay.
But the one thing I kind of
like the climax you were hoping for.
Right.
The one thing I kind of like about it is because it just felt like such a Western. It was like the shootouts, and all this kind of stuff. I was just like, this is just crazy. I mean, it's almost like I expected Eastwood to come around the corner at some point too. But it was just really, it's like taking that Star Wars, that space Western type deal. I mean, it honed in on that. And I mean, I thought it was kind of cool, but then, like I said, it was just kind of, some of it was just kind of weird. Especially when you come riding the Rancor over the, I'm like.
I just know the last 2 episodes, the Mandalorian ones, both of you have messaged me and been like, got to see it. Let me know when you see it. Like, as soon as y'all see it.
I didn't want to do anything this week because I was going to let you do it. Do it on yourself.
Yeah, but there wasn't even like, oh my gosh, you got to see it, or like anything like that. Like,
because you got all the people. I mean, like, here's the thing. Like, last episode introduced Cad Bane. It was so focused on. You had Ahsoka Tano and Luke Skywalker. Yes, you had all of these beings and all of these pieces
that you were totally not expecting.
Not at all.
But I didn't want to say anything about the finale. Like, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna let everyone just, because I've already said my piece like the past couple of weeks. Like just the reason why I did that the past couple of weeks is because you would let people influence your thought about the show prior to actually seeing the show, because you would wait to see the show until Friday night, right before we started the show. And so when you did that, you had 2 full days of the people that you worked with influencing you. And so the reason why I made those text messages, because I was like, hey, you don't want someone to spoil this for you.
You did say
just wait and watch.
Don't let anybody spoil it. You said that was what you said. You're right.
And so same thing with this one. We knew all the characters. I mean, we already went the first 6 episodes. We weren't going to get anyone new. I mean, unless they're going to bring them out in the nth hour. But I mean,
give me a Force Ghost. I don't really care.
I feel like you're really forcing that one.
Yeah, that would definitely.
At the beginning of this episode, the first couple lines that we get are Fennec Shan and Boba Fett talking about how like war is here, and then like how war is inevitable. And I'm like, it's Star Wars, of course. But then you really start to see like the reason why I think we're going to get more to this is because you really start to see Fennec Shan's character kind of get upset about Boba making that agreement with the Freetown, which is funny because none of the parties were present that were necessary to make agreements. But like they didn't want spice being pushed through Freetown, and Boba Fett was like, "That's fine," and Fennec Shan's like, "But that's how we make money. Like, how are we going to do this?" And you get that sense of like your number two isn't on the same page as you are. And I think that whole thing is supposed to tell a better story. Now, I don't know if people were more unhappy with the directing of this series because the writing seemed like it could have led you to go many different directions. All of these episodes, but one of them were Jon Favreau, and the one that wasn't was Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, which was the last one, I'm pretty sure. So it's not like they had a whole lot of hands in the pot. Switching directors, you can tell, I think Robert Rodriguez directed 3 of them. Actually, I think he directed the first one, the third one, and the 7th one. This felt like Robert Rodriguez. Like Sarah said, like the moment you started watching it, you feel it. But I don't think that, once again, going back to the beginning, I don't think the mods should have been the one telling Boba Fett, like, hey, stay with your people. Protect the city. Be the person that you want to be. Because he's all trying to go back to the what do they call it? Temple? Palace?
Yeah,
Palace.
was, yeah.
I don't know why the words escaped me. But yeah, he's like, no, we're going to go back there. Like, we're severely guarded. We have so much better defenses. And look, I have no idea what the proximity from the palace to the downtown is, but that Mos Espa looks humongous. Like, they did a fantastic job showing you, like, the widespread view of Mos Espa, because my brain never would have thought that it was that big and looked like that. Well, Cad Bane, I mean, I thought Cad Bane grew on me. He goes right to like talking to the Pikes, but I mean, like seeing him again after last episode, I think just seeing his face a little bit more was more comfortable for me. I don't know, like if it
the
grew
voice
on
does
you
it for
guys.
you, man. The voice seduces you. Is what it is. Yeah, that's what it is. Like, I don't give a shit what he looks like.
His walk is a little awkward to me though, and I don't know if that's just because I'm watching someone like it almost looks like he's like crawling in like slow motion as he's walking. He's got a real like
swagger.
I got nowhere to be walk.
Got that swagger.
Never in a hurry type guy. Yeah. That's right. Dude, he's a badass, man. I'm happy with what we got with him. But real quick, touching on that point with Boba Fett at the beginning, because we'll break down the whole episode here, is that's like the moment in this series where Boba's like, definitively, I am a hero, good guy. I'm done bounty hunting type deal. Like, I'm ready. That's that moment, And you're right. It was weird to hear that from what do we call them? Technos or whatever they are.
The mods.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was weird hearing it from that. The Fennec Shan thing, I didn't really catch that, but I've only watched it once, but I didn't really catch that as much as you did there, Ross. But that makes sense.
I did.
Right?
Yeah,
probably should have been.
Ross, I kind of agree with you about with Shan, because fast forward to the end, I mean, she was sent in to neutralize. Damn, she didn't go in and neutralize.
She finally like. Here's the thing. Like, if Boba Fett feels neutered throughout this series, Fennec Shan felt a little neutered also. And but man, did they finally like bring and flesh her character out, and like that's the girl I was looking for. She showed up at the end. Yes. She was shooting people like a bitch.
Yeah, she was stringing them up too. It's like, good gracious.
I love how she was telling the mods, keep your head down. But we're going to get killed. Keep your head down.
I don't understand why if you're I mean, honestly, for the show is why you do it. But if you're Boba and Mando at the end, the last stand, why do you come out? Stay in there. You got a choke point. It's only one way in. Of course, I guess they could blow it up.
Well, if I had Beskar, I probably could go out and think I could take it off at anything too. So
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
they definitely walk
both
out of
calling
there like
it
they're
Beskar.
ready to do some business.
Which has cracks in the armor that never seems to get hit by any.
Don't.
weapon.
You're a Batman
Don't
fan.
question
Don't. If we go down that route, it's going to be a real slippery slope.
It's true. Okay, you're right. Let's stop. Pump the brakes. Let's stop before we even start. You're right.
Well, what was y'all's? Okay, let me ask you. What was your reaction when you saw the X-wing?
That Luke was coming.
So
I
that
was
was
like, no. I was like, no, they're not going to do this. Not again.
that
No,
was
no.
right after the title card, and when they showed that, no, my first thought was like he chose the shirt. Like, I mean, I went to I don't know the name of the island, but all I got was this lousy Mandalorian Beskar T-shirt because he chose that over a lightsaber. We had the big debate last week talking. Well, not big debate, but little debate talking about it. I guess, like I said, he saw a whole lot more with Mandalorian than he did with Luke, unfortunately. And so, I guess when Luke gave him that ultimatum, he was like, "I'm done. I'd much rather go back and see him."
All I can say is, Luke did the same thing. He left Yoda to go save his friends and to go be with his friends. And Yoda told him, you know, what did he say? Leave if you leave now, save them you might, but you'll never be a Jedi. And look what happened. So I'm just saying. But hey, let's point out real quick too. They call it a shirt. This is Beskar. This is like the most indestructible stuff in the universe.
How in the hell did he get it on?
You have a shirt made of it? No, you have some effing armor. It is not a shirt. Please.
How did he get it on?
Look,
it's not like it stretches.
That's true.
I mean, a little bit.
I don't know how he gets it on either.
Well, you like just kind of undo the little rings a little bit and just kind of put them back on.
Grogu has that pimp daddy penguin walk, and he's 50 years old. I mean, I don't know about you, but every time I see that little fucker walk, I'm like,
I know
go
you're
little man,
like, oh,
go little man, go little man.
It's like it's about to get real.
He looks like he looks like he's trying to sling around a 20-pound cock, and he's just like,
yeah. That's a great way to describe it.
Thanks, Ross, for that.
Now I'm visualizing that. Yeah.
And you're welcome. My job here is done.
There you go.
Well, and that's the thing about it. Then you see Grogu, you know, he uses the Force one, and then, you know, he takes down the Rancor, and then he goes up and he like curls up and goes to sleep. I'm like,
all right, hold on. We were at the X-Wing. We're at the very beginning.
I'm sorry. This is like
try to order this a little bit. We do see that Grogu's back. We do see that Pele is extremely happy. She knows the fact that he's wearing the chainmail. She feeds him some worms. Life is great all of a sudden. What's the next thing that happens?
Let's see. How does she get to him? She gets to him.
Finnick's having a conversation with everyone back in the other place. So they're all sitting there, which is really funny because you have the Major Domo, which that dude totally grew on, like I think everybody. Him and his what do they call him, head tails. And he's like, "Oh, I thank you." But the Major Domo is sitting there, and you just have Finnick Shan telling everyone that's in there, 3 people, only 3 people, that Chrysanthemum is over here taking care of these people. The mods are back here checking up on everyone else. And over here you got the Gamorrean guards, who unfortunately went out like the biggest bitches in this whole entire show. I felt really bad because I'm like, you gave them a good fight scene, and next thing you know, they turn around and they're pushed off a cliff without swinging. Like, just without hitting anybody.
Yeah.
So we got Boba, and then Bane shows up, and he's like, "I'm not going to make any negotiations," and like, F your people. And Bane tells him like, "Well, you're saying people family was killed by the Pikes," and blah, 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 blah. And like, as soon as you think that they're going to shoot, you have, of all people, Finnick Shan talk him down. Whereas
she's like,
I felt like the 2 of them. No, it totally was.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, you could have taken out some people. I mean, like, you have all of these people with blasters up on in other places, and there's the 3 of them, which they're bounty hunters. I feel like they're probably a better shot. Nothing happens. Next thing you know, the trap gets sprung. The mods are getting attacked. We see Chrysanthemum sit there and just go toe to toe with like all sorts of
Pikes.
oh my god,
Right.
Trandoshans.
Oh, yeah.
So, I found it really funny that he saw them all from like a good 20, 30 feet away and wasn't just starting shooting, because myself would have started shooting the moment I saw them pulling weapons out in the streets. The Gamorrean guards went down, and then next thing you know, all of the Pikes show up at the sanctuary, which I want to tell you, I thought they didn't. This is going to sound really stupid, but it's a very important thing for me. When all the Pikes showed up and they were all like taking their positions, like with their guns, any of the guns that had like scopes on them, they actually lined up to the eyeballs of the masks of the Pikes. And that's a big thing because it looks really stupid on camera if they ever show you anyone that's wearing a mask or like a helmet and they put something up to their eye, like the sniper scope is like all the way off to the side. They're not actually looking down it. Plus, I think the Pike helmets are kind of strange anyway. When the one leader shows up without the helmet on, it's odd choice. But like one of them, you need to see like a real face, I guess. But then you get Fennec Shen going and just sniping the hell out of everyone, like we talked about. I think that seeing her running around and trying to do like 3 things in 3 different places at 3 separate times or all back to back to back was really cool, because we're led to believe that her character in all the animated shows is really badass. And we haven't seen that.
Yeah.
She snuck into like an alarm area when, was it 2 episodes ago at the very end?
Yep.
That's not very badass. But that part was pretty cool. And then you get the Major Domo doing the negotiation. What did you think about that scene?
Interesting that they give this character such a purpose, who seems like just kind of a throwaway character. He's been very annoying for the most part. But you're right, he does kind of grow in you. It is kind of a guy. He's like that annoying guy you want in that. Yeah, the actor plays the role perfect. Yeah, he's a guy you're supposed to be annoyed by. So, interesting though. Negotiating, I'm never a fan of fights in movies being talked down. Like especially hate when that's the way the movie ends, is a villain being talked down. So it worked for me. Like I said, there are certain things about this episode that are just like, because I feel like that scene, like you said, there was no fighting there. And we feel like there should have been. That should have not, that meeting of those two should have not happened till the end. The first time those two meet, they should have the fight. Period. So I think that scene was too early.
I think they should just yelled at each other rather than been like face to face with guns.
Yeah, you're right. Because at that point, you're why not fight?
Right.
You can end this right here, right now, and stop everything else. So I don't know. It was weird. I want to talk about those brass knuckles too. I can't ever pronounce the
Chrysanthemum.
Chrysanthemum, the jacked up Wookiee's name. It feels like they downplay those. Like they look so badass, but every time he ever hits anybody with them, I feel like from him, just a punch would knock the average person out, especially a Pike. They seem kind of small, or Trandoshan. They seem kind of small.
Trandoshan, yeah. Oh no, I think that weapon is totally awesome. I even think that they do like that stutter effect a little bit with the camera. Whenever he hits, and they make the whole camera shake. Shake if they
if you got
just ever so slightest bit. Exactly. I think that's really cool.
I just think they downplay the actual weapon. I think the weapon's great, and the way they make it look is awesome. It's just you see him hitting these people, and it's he'll hit somebody, and then they'll kind of fall over, and they'll get back up and start fighting again. It's well, I just feel like if you really, caught somebody on the chin square with that, they're not getting back up. I don't think they're doing it without the knuckles, but you got those electro knuckles or whatever they are on. Does they have a name? I'm sure they have a name.
Classics. Well, stupid classics. I'm always a big fan of calling brass knuckles classics.
I like electro knucks. That's pretty good. Just the word knucks sounds cool. I don't know why, but yeah, that was one thing that bothered me about it. I was I feel like they're really downplaying this weapon. Because 2, he gets, we're talking about it, Spring the Trap. He gets, I guess, trampled. That they overtake him, and they never show how he escapes that. They just show him later.
Well, I feel like at that point they were just kind of doing, where it's always, darkest before dawn, that kind of thing. So it's getting, I don't want to say the good guys, but the ones that you're really rooting for. That's when you're showing that they get overpowered. You're like, oh shit, maybe they're not going to. It's not going to go their way, or they're going to get defeated, or that kind of thing. So that's the kind of feeling I was getting because it's like all these pikes were coming in, and like you said, they're springing the trap. They were trying to take out the Maz, taking out Chrysanthemum. Just trying to do all this. It was just overwhelming, and it was just like I said, it's kind of that darkest before dawn type moment where it just looks really dark. Like it's like, oh God, they're going to get defeated, and that kind of thing. So maybe that was one of the reasons why instead of he just coming out swinging and taking them all out. So
yeah.
The beauty of Freetown people.
Yeah. The beauty of watching stuff at home like this is you can at that moment you're like, oh gosh, are they going to lose? You can pause and be like, oh, there's still 20 minutes left. They're not going to lose. Okay, let's play again. There's still 20 minutes left. They're going to survive.
But it's the last episode. There could be so much of an epilogue. You don't know. You don't know where this could have gone.
Episode, that was what I was going to say. I knew that I had it in my mind the day when I was driving. This episode felt like an epilogue to the series. To be kind of honest.
Isn't that what all?
I guess a finale kind of should be.
Finale should be.
Yeah. I guess I imagine the epilogue being like the less exciting part after. Well, I guess that's what this was. The less exciting part after the biggest climactic point happened. So.
I think that the line, and I wrote this down because I thought the line was completely awesome when the Major Domo came out and was making the negotiation with the Pike leader, and he said what he said to where he was like, Boba Fett refuses. He said he refuses negotiations and he's going to paint the arid sands of Tatooine, or the arid sands of Tatooine will once again be flowered with the field. Oh, will flourish with the flowered fields, fertilized with the bodies of your dead. And I'm like, not only did he go for alliteration and poetry and very descriptive terms, but I mean, he did it in such a way, so fast, by the way, because
he wrote it really fast.
All that shit down really, really fast.
Like he was signing for a package. Bam, there you go.
Yeah. I was like, wow. And I don't know where it all came from because the Major Domo dude appears to have a fucking degree in bullshit negotiations. But holy hell, when he was saying that, I'm like, oh, he's getting poetic on their ass. Like now what's going to happen? And then you get the jetpack shootout. You get dueling jetpacks with dueling Mandalorian armor, which neither one of them are truly Mandalorians. And I mean, you get everything. You get knee rockets. You get the whistling birds. You get the people from Freetown show up, which is really good because you get that mentality to where it's like, well, you don't know what happened to the sheriff.
Now you do.
But at the same time, you get the bartender, and he's like, this planet deserves better. And you're like, well, if he's on board, then clearly, they're really gunning for something here. Mm-hmm. And when he said that, I got that sense of well, once again, there could be a second chapter to this book because people are clearly wanting more than what they're getting.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely more stories they can tell with it, I'm sure. I don't know. I just feel like Boba, now that he has his establishment there where he's at, you just use him as a character in the shows. But like I said, it'll probably will get a second season. I'm saying just being a pessimistic person.
We'll get to the end, and I'll give you a little bit more of my point of view on that. But they start killing everybody, and then what shows up? Massive robots. Robots with shields.
Upgrades from Naboo,
Droidicas.
Yeah.
The old Droidicas. Mm-hmm. And actually, I do believe that I read this week that they were art concepts from Attack of the Clones for the next generation Droidicas is what I think I read.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And so it was a real, because my brain automatically went to RoboCop.
Okay.
Automatically, first time I saw them, I'm like, RoboCop. And the show generation on, I'm like, okay, Droidicas. So I'm like, the thing from RoboCop, but the Droidica.
I'll tell you one thing I loved about this scene with those is the way that Boba and Mando handled them.
Yeah,
Where
confusing.
it's okay, like they can only turn so fast. They only have like it's the way you would do it in a video game.
Yep.
And I thought about that and I was like, that's really cool. Like that's how you defeat this villain in a video game. You'd run around and if he sees you, he can shoot you. But if you can stay out of his sight, you can get a few shots off and you got to keep running around. I was like, they did that really well. I really liked that part of it.
It's slow paced Metal Gear Solid, man. I mean, you got to stay outside the periphery. That way you can kind of keep going. And then you keep them busy by shooting their children, or that way they keep coming back at you instead of the people.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the way they did that because it was funny because the things were destroying everything, and there's only 2 people basically fighting them and keeping them busy.
Yeah.
You know, 2 people. So
Well, actually, we'll talk about that because all the people started to run away at that point because Mando and Boba Fett were taking care of everybody, and then of course, Boba pieces out real fast, and then you got Mando just sitting there trying to take care of 2 of them on his own. But Greg, who did the mod girl remind you of?
who did the moniker?
The mod girl.
Oh, the mod girl. You talking about by looks or attitude?
Both.
Or just in general? I don't know, man.
You're a humongous Jen Erso fan. I figured you were going to be right over with the accent, and then like her hope to save the place that she grew up in.
You know, I didn't even put that together, but you're right now that you put it like that. Yeah, I guess she is very Jen Erso-ish. Yeah. I'm more of a fan of the actress than the character, but yeah. Sorry, just saying, you know. But yeah.
They're making their last stand, and then next thing, Pele shows up, and then you get the reuniting scene between Mando and Pele, and then Mando and of course Grogu. So
in the middle of a fight scene.
In the middle of a fight. Hey, you're wearing the shirt I got you. Yeah. Cool.
In the middle of a fight scene.
Like, but here's what I do have a question. So they show up on the taxi droid, which we've seen before, clearly Attack of the Clones. They're the same type of droid, was pulling the same type of cart with Anakin and Padme in it. Mm-hmm. Did it seem to you that Grogu killed that droid so that they would all flip over and get out? Because I got that impression. And I haven't heard anyone else say anything else about that was along those same lines. It was a real weird scene.
Did his head pop off?
Yeah, kind of. Like Pele throws a wrench at him, and then like out of nowhere you see Grogu like staring at him, and next he starts to like smoking, and like his head goes all sorts of different whatever directions outside of his body. So I don't know. It was a real interesting little bit. I just didn't know if anyone else picked up on that.
I'll have to watch it again. Like I said, I've only watched it once, but yeah, I'll have to watch it again and check it out. Possibly, but
yeah, my question would be why. That's the only reason why I'm asking.
Yeah, the why is what I'm looking for. Maybe. I don't know.
But then you get the Rancor. You get the sounds. You hear it
really well.
It's coming out of nowhere. And then you see the face. Well, actually, I mean, you slowly start to see like claws and then hands, and then like head comes up, and then you see nose ring, and you're like, someone's mom signed off on a nose ring way too early in life. But then Boba's holding on to that bad boy. He's riding it. And he's happy about it.
The only thing I was thinking about whenever they were fighting, when the Rancor was there, I loved the scene. It was cool. They did a great job with the Rancor. I telegraphed. I saw it coming because we hadn't seen the Rancor again, and I was like, okay, it's getting a little late in the show for this character to come back, and they made a big deal about it. So, and we need a big beast to save us. Okay, so I saw it coming. But when he was attacking these robots, like it took like these droids, it took a good 2 or 3 minutes of them fighting. Maybe it felt like 2 or 3 minutes, maybe, for them to actually shoot him. The Rancor. And I was like, why have they not shot him? You know, it's really weird. It's like they stopped shooting at the one thing that could destroy them. And they're just killing
shock and awe.
Yeah, maybe. Do droids go through that? Possibly, yeah. I guess, yeah. What am I thinking? Of course they do. Droids have personalities.
Trying to decipher the analysis of how to take it down. I don't know. Yeah. The whole thing was kind of slightly strange. So
these things kept coming, though. Rip arms off and they'll keep coming. I did like, how did he kill that one? He like stuck it like it's stuck in the eye, like with his thumb.
Yeah, I think that was the second one.
Yeah,
The first one you had Mando. He made it through the shield and finally got to use the Darksaber like in a way that wasn't just banging it up against the shield. I found it very funny that it didn't do more damage, but I think that that's another like reflective scene on how he hasn't quite figured out how to use the weapon yet.
right.
They seem to be really hitting really hard on this, which makes me think that season 3 of Mandalorian is going to be them or him really kind of either coming to terms with it or realizing that he can't handle it. So
Well,
one of
you know,
those two things is going to have to happen.
if he comes to terms with it, it's going to be that one moment where he finally figures out how to use it to save him at the last second.
I had it turned around the whole time.
Yeah.
No one told me, just turn it around.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the Rancor scene. For me, like Sarah said, that was one of those moments. When I saw it, I knew it was coming, but it was still really done really well. I liked seeing Boba Fett ride on a Rancor. Pretty cool.
It's just really cool seeing a Rancor, like, because really the only, you see the one that Jabba had, but I mean but it's like out in the open. I mean, in all its glory. I mean, you see it from head to toe. I mean, it's the whole thing.
It's just a baby.
That's 2 of them on the same planet within 6-ish years of each other to a planet they're not native to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
kept in the same cell.
Weird enough. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Lived in the same house.
Mm-hmm. Probably got the old Rancor smells in there.
I can't sit here. I can smell the old one. It still stinks. Then we get Grogu destroying one of the fucking Droidekas on steroids. It's cool because you see him he does like a true thought analysis, using the Force to try to figure this thing out, and it pulls out the one piece that's going to stop it. Thought that was really, really cool to see. You get the Rancor sit there and finish it off. I mean, just going ham on it, which is cool because you want to know how strong a Rancor is, and finally being able to see that, him just rip that thing to shreds was really cool. They jump back across town. That's when the Rancor was coming, I think, trying to make its way back to the other one. Everyone else is getting blasted, but yet here you still have a whole nother Droideka thing that's shooting up everybody.
Right.
And it's funny because once all that is said and done, you get Bane, who just shoots a little fire at the Rancor and drives that thing insane. Just a little bit.
Yes.
Just fire. Just,
And it runs away. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. You've got, I could see it backing away, from the fire. But you're telling me that it wouldn't charge and just stomp him? Seriously?
Yeah. He goes crazy. He starts tearing up, finally, he starts tearing up pikes, eating them. I find it very strange that he holds it up for Boba to shoot, but whatever.
Yep.
It's here, Dad.
Got one for you.
And then the King Kong scene was really unnecessary. I did not need that. That one right there was the one that I think was just a little too much. Why?
You gotta have that giant beast. It's gotta climb a tower, man, and roar. That's a rule.
Yeah.
T-Rex, top of the cliff, roaring. I mean, come on.
But then you get Mando, big boy Daddy Mando, trying to sit there and trying to come down and save you. He's like, I got this. And it's funny because, dude, the character of Pele is awesome. I think that it's amazing how she's just he's a strong dude. He can handle himself. And then you see him getting his head right in the Rancor's mouth. And you're thank God Beskar is that strong.
Well, thank goodness that he wasn't 6 inches further forward, because that's where that crack in the armor is, and that head would have just been gone. Yes, I know. Sorry. Yeah, bringing that up. But yeah, so I thought that Mando riding the Rancor, I kind of wanted to see it. I mean, I guess it would have looked the same as Boba doing it, but I hate that he got tossed off so quickly. I was like, I feel like Mando's better warrior than Boba, could I say?
You needed it, and I'll tell you why you needed it, because Mando and Grogu are they're yin and yang. They make one whole thing, and the two of them together do something awesome. And I think that is totally cool because it won the hearts of everybody. I mean, Grogu coming in and putting that big bastard to sleep, and then curling up next to it, like Sarah said earlier in the episode. I mean, it did so much for people who aren't major Star Wars fans, and they're like, "Oh, Grogu," and they're like, "Grogu, you put it to sleep," and then Grogu goes to sleep with it, and like they're friends. I mean, like,
yeah, it kind of hits back to that point that he used before, where he uses so much of his force power that it wears him out or drains all his energy.
But that makes you realize how young he is, because he really is. Because it's like all through the episode when you hear it, he was still kind of doing like the goos and the gauze.
He doesn't.
And you're seeing the change.
Right? He's not talking yet, but he doesn't do the goos and the gauze anymore. I don't hear it as much. Yeah.
You see him honing in. Like, it's odd enough because he left Luke. Clearly, we don't know where that's going to end up being through the next season of Mandalorian. I don't see him going back, but at the same time, you see him harnessing his power, and you see him actually, like, it's not like wearing him out as much, which is cool. That's what you want to see. You want to see growth in a character, and Grogu needs to grow by more than one single part of the word. But it's interesting just because he did it with such a big beast, and like completely was out for like however long. And the first, I actually don't remember, was that the second episode of Mandalorian?
Where he used the Force. It was wherever they killed that dragon thing, right?
The Mudhorn. No, the Mudhorn at the very beginning.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
When he picked it up and put it to sleep. So basically like put it down. When he can do that with the Rancor now, and you see him, and you can see him like walk up to it as he's like already finished after he's already used the Force. And so it's very interesting how he was able to kind of progress past what we've already seen so far. They're showing growth in Grogu, which is what we need, or else it's not going to work. So I think that part's really interesting.
Yeah. And Panther Pickle in the chat says that Luke left his training. Yep, that's exactly what I was saying earlier about it. Is I think that new Star Wars is going towards this mindset of using the Force, but not necessarily being a Jedi or a Sith, because you can be a Force-sensitive person and not necessarily be one of the two. So
you
I
have
think
to evolve the idea, or it doesn't work.
Yeah. So, but who knows what Grogu's going to be in the future? I mean, well, we know he's not around in the future. We've already seen the future, but
he's not around the future that we know of.
That's true. He's not in the future we know of. He's not an important enough character, or off somewhere else. Who knows?
They are going back in time and giving us a whole new future right now.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm all for. Like I said, give me every angle, give me all the aspects. I don't want to take anything away from what the sequels made, but at the same time, everyone wanted a slightly different story. Everyone wanted a little bit more than jumping directly into like the next phase of what Star Wars was supposed to be. I mean, Disney really kind of screwed the pooch. Now they're doing a really good job of laying the groundwork that they should have laid the first time, because you want it all to make sense. When you erase the expanded universe, you get rid of all of that groundwork, and now you have nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they wanted. They wanted to tell a fresh story, but they did it without laying the groundwork.
Right. Well, and they did the. It's not so much that because the whole Star Wars was a fresh story without laying the groundwork. What they're doing is they laid a little bit of groundwork with this. Now they're filling in all those gaps, like you said. They have so many years of stuff they could fill in. There was no need to tell more story to go into something else. But that's what they did. They decided, but they weren't telling a new story without filling the gaps. They were trying to connect it too much with the old story and tell a new story. You know, I agree with you. Take the sequels for what they were. But there's a lot more Star Wars that I would have rather seen than what I saw with those. You know?
It's always easier telling the prequel stories because going back in time, you know where you have to get to.
Mm-hmm.
When you tell the sequel stories, you know where you're starting, but you don't know like where you go and where you end up at is the open story. That's where you want to get to. And I think that they didn't give us enough because I mean, this sounds mean, but they took so much away from like what we knew and what could have happened. So it was very interesting. It was very interesting to see what they're doing. Now they're able to do all of this stuff with the faces and yeah. I mean, no, they said they just did remakes with the original cast. I mean,
To a certain extent, yeah.
Yeah, not all wrong by any means. I think that we just keep hitting. We kept hitting a. There wasn't like a trigger there that was like bringing everyone on board because everyone knew what they wanted. They wanted the names back. They wanted the Luke, the Han, the Leia. They wanted everything else. Right now, what we're getting, like, I don't need this kind of Boba Fett story, but at the same time, I'm not so truly deeply invested in Boba Fett that I need something in particular.
Right.
I don't care if he wants to go and do something else. We're close enough to the end now. I mean, I'll just go ahead and talk about it. The Pikes, and the mayor, and the leaders all get off. Fennec Shan comes in there and just basically is killing people. Mando takes off in the N1 with the kid. I mean, I knew we were going to see the kid in the back of the N1. That's what it felt like it was only made for.
That out. Yeah, exactly.
But then we hit the mid-credit scene, and that gives us Cobb Vanth in the
tank.
Yes.
I can't remember.
I can't think of the name.
Yeah, I know, right?
Blake.
Damn me, I didn't skip the mid-credit scenes and end-credit scenes.
You didn't watch it?
No.
There's not much to it. I'll explain it to you. It's real simple.
Okay,
Cobb Vanth is laying in the back to tank. Boom, there you go.
There you
go. Okay.
You see his face. Everyone thinks that it's Cad Bane. I don't know why they can't see Cobb Vanth's face. Well, those two are very close together.
Yeah.
But then you have the mod dude from Mod Central with his interchangeable hands. He's standing there.
He's the one that fixed Fennec Shan.
Yep. So he's standing there, and he's going to turn her into something because it's very interesting. What you have throughout all of this is anytime Cobb Vanth is brought up, they keep talking about how he no longer has armor. And so I found it very interesting. They're going to turn around and now turn him into a mod. So I mean, like, is he going to start turning into something else? Yeah. But now that we're at the end, I've heard countless takes on this, but my thought right off the bat was, I don't know if Boba Fett can remain the person truly in charge. I think that he can be like the palace person in charge, but what you're going to have is you're going to need someone who's essentially like the sheriff of Mos Espa, someone who he works with, who's feet in the street.
Anne's going to be that? I see her not that role. I don't know though.
She's too much shoot first, ask later. I think if you get what we got.
Sorry, Cody asked in the chat, random question, is Mace Windu dead? Could they make a return in these spinoffs? Cody, we never saw a body.
Nope.
That's all I can say.
Nope.
I'm fine with him being dead.
Yes, he's dead. And I'm fine with him being dead too. I'm fine with him being too. But we never saw a body. So they may be able to work something into a story one day where they could talk about that. But I feel like because you've never heard anything else about it, it'd be really difficult to kind of shoehorn that in. But
this right here is exactly what I was kind of talking about with the sequel trilogy. Now we're so deep into the prequel trilogy that you can actually tell those types of things. Like you can bring up that kind of real gray area. Like, but what if we bring that character back? People did that with the sequel trilogy for years. So,
well, and to be fair, if you haven't read any kind of Legends material or watched any of the shows, Darth Maul died in, Attack of the Clones, or was it Attack of the Clones? No, it wasn't Attack of the Clones. It was
Phantom Menace.
Yeah, Phantom Menace. So I guess they bring, and we saw him die.
Yeah.
So I guess they could bring characters back. I mean, but yeah, that's kind of my final answer with that is yes, I'm fine with him being dead. I'm fine with him bringing him back, but we never saw a body.
Which
So
rumor, and I don't know the weight behind this, it sounded more like clickbait than anything else, but there was a rumor that Darth Maul was going to be getting the Disney Plus show. I don't see that happening. I think that the Ray Park drama is a little too much for them to kind of want to get behind if he's going to be the person that does it. So just saying that I have heard it. So
fortunately for that character, while I would love Ray Park to be that character, because that is, Darth Maul for me, that character I feel like can be played by almost anybody who looks similar with all the makeup art. If you have the martial arts skills and skills that he does,
it could be. I'm going to tell you, no one has championed that character harder than him. He has held on.
Yeah.
And he has straight up Star Wars convention that character.
Yeah.
His whole
I
entire
agree.
time.
That's his character. Like 100%. That's his character. I don't know. I mean, if
it was his face in Solo.
Yeah.
At the end credit scene in Solo, it was him done in the makeup. It wasn't his voice, but it was him.
Never seeing the character again because it has to be him, then I don't want it. Then I'd love to see the character. It's, I don't want to never see the character again. But, I guess I couldn't say that because Luke Skywalker, I would never want to see anybody play him other than Mark Hamill. So yeah, maybe I wouldn't.
You say that, but look what you got in this series.
Sure.
You got a different version of it that, you know what, I mean, it felt a whole lot better than it did in The Mandalorian season 2, but I don't know how far you can go with it. They were definitely showing off their skills though. Like, hey, look, we can make Luke sword fight. We can make Luke jump around. We can make Luke do this.
If this technology is around a few years ago, do we get that Solo movie, or is Harrison Ford de-aged for that entire movie?
Well, the unfortunate part to that is that the person that is being de-aged has to like co-sign on it. So if Harrison Ford co-signs on it, that would be okay.
I mean, if you were able to do it, wouldn't you? I think he would.
Did you watch the behind the scenes for that episode? That little special that they did?
No.
Oh, dude, you got to watch it. Like, it's all old camera footage, old photo shots, old interviews of Mark Hamill, and they piece it together. And then they make Mark Hamill go through all the lines and say everything. And then they make the other character go through all the lines and say everything. And they piece the whole thing together. It's artificial intelligence in that aspect is amazing. I mean, we're at a point now where, dude, Apple just bought an artificial intelligence music company that can make its own soundtrack music based on a video. You don't have to do anything anymore. Hands off. Sorry. Hands off. Like, everything is completely done by itself. So either way, great episode. I loved it.
Yeah, we chased a squirrel there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, I think they could totally come out with the second chapter or whatever else is going to happen. So it's going to be fantastic.
Kevin Boshevin says, what about Ahsoka? New actress? No. Rosario Dawson is Ahsoka. There's no need for a new actress. I don't know exactly what you mean with that question, but for the series, yeah, that's Ahsoka. It's Dawson's already signed on for that, right?
Yes.
Oh no, she's definitely
she embodies that character. I feel
she is a good physical personification of her. I don't think that it really sucks not given that role.
Old Ashley,
Eckstein,
yeah. I think that once again, I mean, she was never in like a actual movie, live action, right. But I think that not giving her that role is a real injustice because she champions that role.
Okay, yeah, that's actually what he was talking about, and she does. When I hear the voice, like that's what I. But this is also an older Ahsoka that we're talking to, so I could. That's why in my mind I'm like, okay, the voice I get, and it does like she couldn't get that.
And that's what I felt like too, because if they did a younger, Ahsoka, like what you're used to in Clone Wars, yes, Ashley would have been perfect. I mean, it's she's a little girl, she's short, she's just
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If
I've
they
actually
wouldn't have
met her,
done what they
so
did at the end, if they wouldn't have done what they did in the Rebels and like really made her like, grow up,
Mhm.
I think that you could have almost got away with it. But I mean, Ashley's got such a I don't want to say this in a mean way. I mean, she's a baby face. She's got such a baby face that I don't know if you could really what you'd have to do to really make her feel grown up. I think that they they really lost the ability because they kept on making her like taller and taller and taller, which is very weird. Because what was the my God, what is the other Jedi Master's name that gets shot down in Order 66? Um, Revenge of the Sith. She's the same species. Anyway,
Shakti.
yeah, not tall, like not like super duper tall.
Well,
They could
Shakti,
have,
she was a lot older because she had like her
yeah.
head tails or what I
Mhm.
can't remember what they were called, but they're a lot. But see, that's the only issue I had with Rosario Dawson being live action Ahsoka is because I don't feel like that really gave her the aging that she was supposed to have. But I get it. I get it. That's the only criticism I'll have about Ahsoka. But I get the fact that you can only have those head tails so large.
I
Her
like the head tails
somber,
of Ahsoka. So
You know what I
her
mean?
I like
her very somber and like monotone uh, 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 character portrayal that Rosario brings to Ahsoka is perfect
right.
because at some point you have to have seen enough shit to be that person and not Snips. You gotta
Yeah.
you gotta you gotta be Ahsoka.
That's a good point.
So
But
Yeah.
Ahsoka from Rebels, I mean, that's the way the path she was going in essence. I mean, it's like you kind of lost that. I don't want to say that naivety, but it's just especially when she walked away from the order, it's just you're like a little bit older and wiser. So I mean, that's what it's kind of like the Ahsoka the White, that kind of thing.
yeah,
Yeah. Look, Kevin in the chat says Sebastian Stan looks just like a young Skywalker and wants to play him. I saw that online, a comparison with that. I'm digging Sebastian Stan more as Tommy Lee right now, though, than I am Luke Skywalker. So
he's not
I
as
don't know.
tall, but man, he's a lot taller on his back.
Yeah, I don't know. Sarah, have you seen that yet?
Not
The
yet.
Tommy film? Oh man, you need to check it out. You need to check it out. It's pretty good. But we chased another squirrel. Let's wrap up the Book of Boba Fett because we've been talking about this one for a minute. What else? We got to the ending. I don't. Like I said, it's probably going to get a second season. I don't know if it will or not. I don't think it's going to take over Mandalorian as being my favorite Star Wars show out right now by any means. Mandalorian's definitely a step up, but overall,
Context.
I enjoyed this series. Yeah. I enjoyed the series. I'm not going to give it a bad grade or tell people not to watch it because it is important to see what's in here. And like I said, it was enjoyable. It just a lot of things, especially with this ending, that I would have done differently. The finale wasn't as exciting as I expected it to be, and maybe I blew my load a little early on the previous 2 episodes, which I'm sure a lot of people did. So I feel normal for doing that. Just letting you know. But I don't know, man. Book of Boba Fett.
I enjoyed it. I loved
Yeah.
it. I mean, I did. I mean, there might have been might have some criticisms in there, but I mean, hell, what show doesn't? But I enjoyed it. But I like the going back and like explain, go back and filling in the blanks. I enjoy those types of shows because I feel like it went back far enough to kind of fill in the blanks and then it moved forward, even though, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very much so.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I'm kind of hoping a lot more of these Star Wars shows, like with Obi-Wan and Ahsoka. And I want those backstories. I want to fill in the blanks, because you have questions about how did you get from point A to point B? What are some of the experiences that they had? And I mean, I got answers when it comes to Boba Fett. I mean, I know how I got out of the Sarlacc pit. I'm good.
Yeah. Hey, Ross, it's so funny because I said episode watched ago. That was the first question I had for this, and it was how they opened the show. So right away, I thought I was going to enjoy it. And once again, I don't want to talk trash about it. Like I don't dislike the show. I just feel like there's of the Star Wars stuff out there right now. I'm more excited about seeing Ahsoka now. I'm more excited about seeing Obi-Wan. I'm more excited about Mandalorian. but I was more excited about that beforehand. Like Boba Fett was like one of my least important shows on the list to see if I had listed all those characters out. Not that I don't like Boba Fett, and like I said, I don't like the show, but it's kind of like what was the Scarlet Witch show on WandaVision on Netflix, or not Netflix, on the MCU stuff. It was good, but it's kind of my least favorite of everything going on, you know?
I would say that Boba Fett brings the least amount to the table. And I say this because just like sequel trilogy, so many people had things in their mind.
Yeah.
Maul can show up in Obi-Wan. Is that what that said?
That's what he said.
Well, Maul was already killed, so we saw Maul die in Rebels. Greg,
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but I know he does. Yeah, so I'm getting there. I've got so much I'm watching. Yeah.
You still haven't finished Rebels?
No, I'm in the second season. I've gotten 2 seasons in. That's not bad. That's better than the last
what
year.
we're doing this guy.
I'm close. I
don't know. I don't know why we sit down and talk. No, Boba Fett is going to suffer the most because here's the deal. We know what becomes of Obi-Wan, and whatever story that they tell is additional. I don't mean this the wrong way, but it's additional useless knowledge. We don't need whatever they're going to give us because I feel like unless they're going to tell us why he chooses to lie to Luke, I don't really need anything else out of that. Like what kind of stuff is he going to go through? The Ahsoka show, I want because it could go anywhere.
Mm-hmm. You think they'll have a little more Duchess Satine in there?
I sure hope that they just intermingle the shit out of everything in there because I think they really took Mandalorian as an option here. And they said, you know what? We already have a story that's happening. And we can intermingle these two. And we can make something of it. And we could truly build off of this. And I think that's why they went so deep into it.
Disney after dark, time, baby.
I mean, if I had 2 metal things I could clean together, it'd be like Beskar just banging against each other. I do think that all the stories that they're going to have moving forward are going to be pretty good. I mean, there's another piece of news. I mean, it's old news now, but Andor getting its 2nd season already, and we haven't even seen the first one. I think that they know what they have here. They know that they have series that are doing something, and if they're already able to back up a show that we haven't even seen yet and give it a 2nd season, I sure hope that they.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to find a more clever way to say it, but I sure hope they got their fucking head on straight. People's nitpicks with Boba Fett are nowhere near big enough for me to change my mind on the way that it made me feel watching it. The way that it made me feel is all that matters. And I'm going to tell you, I was happy. I was happy watching it. We watched the first one, like you said. We got the answers. We do everything else. I'm perfectly fine about it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, should Star Wars stop worrying about movies and only do shows? I say no, but I love shows.
Mm-hmm. I say no. I say don't only do shows, but I think they should focus a bulk of what they're doing. I think MCU should do that too. Focus a bulk of what they're doing on shows that lead into stuff with the movies, because you can get a lot more out of a show than you can a movie. And
I can only speak to a little bit of, because I'm a real big visual audio. Like I love all of the things that go into all of this stuff. The soundtrack wise, besides it being in my head now that, Van Gorsen, or however you say his last name, Ludwig, possibly reused like an older song for the Boba Fett soundtrack. Mm-hmm. All the stuff that he's done is golden. When they put all that effort into a movie, I see so much more better visuals. And I don't want to say it's just on like the big screen, but I kind of I'm still not 100% on this whole volume thing, because I do feel like it really skews watching these shows. like I can watch it on my phone and not pick up on nearly the amount of things that I pick up on like when I watch it on my TV. I get blurriness and all sorts of things going on. And I know that I'm nitpicking grains of fucking salt here. And that's me being an asshole. But at the same time, I see it. And so I point it out. I I don't have a $1,000 camera to sit here and to make a show with. But at the same time, they got money.
Right.
And they got money. And I don't want to see
like good.
Yeah, I don't want to see like slight discrepancies between like their different stuff. If they can put movie quality on television, I don't need another movie in my life that has to go to a big screen. I'll sit there and watch every bit of it at home. But you know, I also have bought every Star Wars movie. Actually, I have not bought Rise of Skywalker. I bought the first 8 Star Wars movies on every like media possible. So go me for wasting money.
Are you going to buy episode 9?
Not now. I have Disney Plus.
That's true.
Why do I need to buy anything ever again?
That's true.
Pay them
I couldn't tell you the
monthly,
last time. I couldn't tell you the last time that I used a DVD. I think I let my one of my coworkers borrow the Matrix trilogy because they'd never seen the Matrix, which I was like, "What? Have you never seen the Matrix?" I let him borrow the DVDs, and I was just like, "Just keep them. I've got them digitally. I'm never going to use these DVDs ever again." I don't have any need for them. So.
The downside is that you don't have like the old versions, like before things became special edition.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Well, is there anything else Boba Fett we want to talk about? We've been on a big Star Wars tangent on top of this Boba Fett stuff. We chased a lot of squirrels here in the end, but that's what we do here. Anyway, so
it was the finale.
It was the finale. It was a nice little ride down from the high that it gave me before, but it was an overall really good show. I don't feel like I've wasted my time watching this, and I'm happy with a lot of things that I saw on this show.
Yes,
that's what I'll end with.
Jetpacks, baby.
Really happy with a lot of things that I saw on the show. So. All right, cool. Well, let's wrap it up then. Book of Boba Fett is done. We're looking forward to Mandalorian coming out soon. Ahsoka, Obi-Wan, all that good, and the Andor series, like all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Star Wars has got a lot coming out. But
a lot to look forward to.
Yep. Well, all we got left to talk about is Peacemaker and Reacher, and these for me are the best 2 shows that I'm watching right now. And Sarah hasn't seen either one yet, but I'm telling you,
I'm gonna peace out. Like I said, I got to get up early in the morning, but yeah. So you guys enjoy that, and at some point I'll be able to talk about one of those at least at one point.
Get to it.
I think you're really both of them, but I think actually I can't even say which one I think you'll like more. I think these are my favorite 2 shows that I'm watching right now. So, but you'll like it.
They're really good. I mean,
hate to see you go.
I know, guys. I know. And then, like I said, I won't be around next week, but definitely the week after. So,
cool deal. Well, I'm sure I'll be talking with you between now and then, but we're gonna miss you. And
all right, fellas, you behave. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Drink plenty of water.
Yes. Bye.
Yes. All right, man. How you want to do it? You want to do Peacemaker first or Reacher first? We already talked to Little Reacher. You want to just knock the rest of that out?
Yeah. Well, no. Do you want to wait until you finish it?
Okay. Yeah, we'll just do general thoughts about Reacher, and then we'll finish the whole series whenever we. That sounds good. Yeah, because there probably is something in the last 2 episodes that I need to know before I really. So okay. Well, let's just give a basic then. Reacher, really great show. So far, if you're not watching, it's on Amazon Prime. It's Prime Originals. 8 episodes for the first season. I can't remember the guy's name, but he's the guy who plays Hawk in Titans.
Alan Richardson, I believe.
This motherfucker's huge,
dude.
Like,
and he takes his shirt off every chance that he gets. They make him take his shirt off. Yeah,
I would too if I looked like that. I mean, come on. I watched this show with my wife. I didn't even ask her. I just turned it on, just watched it, and like she starts watching it, and she was really into it, obviously with him. Like, and she was just like, "Holy crap, that guy's just huge. He's insanely big." So I think that my wife has a new person on the list, and I have a new show to watch. That's what I've culminated out of this whole thing right here. Is that it's really, really good. He does a great job. I don't know anything about the character from the movie, so this is me going into this raw. But I love the way he portrays the character. Like I like his attitude. I like his demeanor. Really good action scenes. The only thing I'll say about it so far going into it is the story is really big. There's a lot to follow and a lot of people. So you got to really pay attention. There's a lot to follow and a lot of people, but I don't think that it's going to get much bigger before the end.
So I don't think the story is like that massive. I just think that you walk into it with it already most of the way done. Yes, he was in Blue Mountain State. He was Thad.
Okay.
Great show. Funny as hell.
Yeah.
You walk into the story as it's already going on. And so since it's already happening, you are piecing it all together at the same rate as the main character. And clearly you know a little bit more because you have a little bit more of an omniscient point of view, but it's really fun getting to know the story the way that you get to know it. Everything they pick off of, I mean, my biggest beef with this whole entire show is that they wear jackets in Southern Florida Southern Georgia during the summer. I guess it's not really Southern, but it's the South. It's hot. It's humid. I see why the man's taking his shirt off all the time, but shit. There's just killing. He has... If you don't know anything about Jack Reacher, the whole story is that he is a former special investigator in the Army. I believe his rank was major, but either way, like he just led like a unit, and they were just like the tip top whiz bang shit. Then he got out, and now he just goes around fixing things because I can totally relate to his personality. I mean, like if someone's getting screwed over, I'm like, well, that's not right. You fix it. Mm-hmm. And he not only has the girth and the point of view of the type of way that he thinks to actually do so, but he does it all very effectively, and he can just about tell anyone by picking up on their mannerisms. I think it's totally awesome. He does a fantastic job. The characters in the show are really good. I don't want to say that anyone is stereotypical, but you do have the normal like tropes with your characters, which is good because you don't have to like. It does a good job of keeping you interested without getting you lost. I think is the best way to put it.
Okay.
But I've watched the whole thing, and I thought that I wouldn't. Oh, shit, I use a bad word. I wouldn't say the ending is lackluster because it's not at all. But if you pay enough attention throughout the show, it points you directly to where you knew that you were going to get to, and that's what you want. You don't want to be.
It's a lot of feed, animal feed, right?
Yeah. You're not looking for a real M. Night Shyamalama Ding Dong twist at the end of this one. You just want something that's pretty simple, and you get something that tells a pretty good story. I would recommend this show 100%. It's not like on my top list of shows, but it's a fantastic show to watch. If they continue with more seasons, it's very Jack Ryan in its Jack Reacher way. Like, I will watch Jack Ryan on Amazon until they stop making them, because I don't think that they could tell a bad story. They do fantastic. They've only had 2 seasons, I think. I think this has the legs to do the same exact thing, to tell the Jack Reacher story in that way, because Reacher is the story,
right?
Not what's going on in the world. It's where he finds himself and how complex they can make the story for him. Same thing with Jack Ryan. They build the universe around him, and he's the one doing the work. I think these shows could go on forever, and if you were a big fan of Jack Ryan, you're probably going to love this show. So give it a go.
I mean, they could almost run them like a 007 type thing, where you have this guy run it forever, keep telling stories, and we'll just get new characters to play the role, and it's almost like an honor to play this role. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I mean, Jack Ryan and Jack...
Alan Richardson was a step up from Tom Cruise.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit. About 1.5 feet and probably...
Yeah, 1.5 feet, 2 feet.
Yeah, so... But yeah, man. So yeah, I'll break that down. I got 2 more episodes to watch, but I'm highly recommend, if you haven't checked that out and you got Amazon Prime, check it out. It's a really good show. Like I said, it's one of my. Most of the stuff that I'm watching, I'm talking about on this show right now. So of course, but this is one of my favorite shows that I'm watching right now. I'm excited to get done and go finish this, even though I've got to get up in the morning. I'm going to watch at least 1 more episode tonight. to leave the finale for tomorrow. But okay, cool. Well, let's talk about Peacemaker then, the other show that I cannot convince people who haven't seen this to watch it, but everybody I've talked to loves this show.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's like I keep wanting to tell people, I'm like, I promise you, I haven't found a person yet who doesn't like it. I promise you, watch this show. Really, really enjoy it. John Cena has gone from a guy that I didn't like as an actor, especially in the character he played in Suicide Squad, to somebody that I really, really enjoy in this role and I want to see in the future. We're at the penultimate now. Exactly what you said was going to happen in the penultimate with the B villain and the A villain happened. So kudos to you, sir. You called that one out. But this episode was good like no other, man. What did you think of this week's?
I thought it was very interesting that we have the opening scene be him remembering the death of his brother, because, man, I was not expecting that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they essentially, like, his dad treats him and his brother like prize fighting pit bulls.
Mm-hmm. What's funny is they had pit bulls watching the kids fight.
Yes. You know? And so I don't understand, like, my mind can't comprehend where a person would have to be in order to make kids do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's pretty dark and twisted. I mean, like, first off, like, Homeboy already had a mullet that was absolutely ridiculous. And I'm like, I don't understand why mullets are back in. But what he had, I understand why he was a leader, because that thing was ridiculous. To see his two sons fighting, and to see them be so nonchalant and just happy. Well, happy might be a weird word, yeah, but to be happy beforehand, and then they come outside and start fighting. It totally makes sense. Yeah, it totally makes sense why he is the way that he is about his brother's death.
Mm-hmm.
That moment where he's just like, you know, like he's really trying to sell it, and like you know, the kid is dying in front of him, and his dad loses it because I think he has that realization that, like, I just screwed up.
Mm-hmm.
Now that someone's dead,
somebody else. Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
And then you really see John Cena as the adult Peacemaker, the adult God, what's his name? Chris. You see him really start to, like, yes, exactly like I said, he was going to reach that borderline moment to where it was he couldn't handle it anymore, and now his dad's coming after him. He did not see that part coming, but now that all these things have happened, dude, I was sitting there the moment that he had that gun pointed at him. I know that I'm jumping a little ahead, but I was on the fence. I'm like, he's not going to do it. I was like, oh, he's going to do it. I'm like, no, he's not going to do it. Oh my God, he did it.
I was begging for him to do it. I was like, please do it. Please do it. Please do it.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I wanted him dead. I'm just saying, like, I didn't know, like, if it was going to be like, you know, is the hero better than what we think? And I think that it really brings him down to, like, a real true level that it was crazy and he shot him.
Yeah. Like Kevin says the kid can take the blame, sit down and go to jail. You're right, but I think we're more or less talking about, like, how do you get to that mindset where that's like you're cool with that? Like, it's they did a good job of making this guy an asshole. And you know, the point where they're fighting, where they have the fight with him and his son, and he's got his boot on his chest, he's stating all the things that you absolutely hate about this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like the reasons why he hates Chris are the reasons why everybody else hates you, and they just put it all out there, you know, everything. So I was like, okay. Like they did a good job training this character, and I'm glad that it was taken care of. You know what? 20 minutes into this episode, it was where it left off at the end of the last episode, and then 20 minutes in this episode, it's kind of the end of his dad.
Well, I don't know the time, but either way, yeah, it happened pretty quick. But it needed to happen quick. If you didn't have. You have the Peacemaker helmets that they're tracking. You have the dad finds where they're at, knocks the vehicle over. They start tracking them. The simple stuff in this show, though, like, how was I supposed to know what was going to be like? You know, like wrestling a raccoon or like a wild raccoon. Like, and you just see all the scratches over his face, and I'm like, Oh my god, it's so fucking funny. It's just hilarious. Like, because I wouldn't ever want to touch a raccoon. Dude, California, they had raccoons like this fucking big, and every night they come out and like try to like go around the dumpsters, and I'm
Nope.
not touching them with
Shouldn't.
anything except for a lead bullet.
Yep. Shoot 'em.
And to see him sit there, they're trying to tie a helmet to the tail of one of these bad boys.
I love Economost's response too. He's like, it went exactly like I thought it would go. No, grab a raccoon in the wild. Like the relationship between Economos and Peacemaker and what Vigilante in this episode is
so
gold. Golden, man. These three guys together play off each other so well. I don't know how much of that's scripted. I don't know how much of that is just improv, them being in the moment. But man, Vigilante especially, that guy, man, he perfect casting, man. And at first I was like, okay, they're just kind of trying to rip off Deadpool, but they're really not. Like, this guy is into this character, like, and it's funny because like in any second he can just turn on a fight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really, really enjoyed this character in the show. Vigilante.
Like, fucking knives, and we stab people. Let's stab people. Like, yeah, I mean, like that's the ride or die person you need on your side.
Peacemaker says, "We're gonna go kill this guy." He's like, "Awesome,
yeah,
awesome." Gets up and walks with him, no questions.
Nope. I find that the characters in this show make so much of this show, dude. When I don't know his alien name, but when Mern the butterfly is dying and Amelia is holding him in his hand in that little moment they share, dude, I was fucking sad.
Yeah.
Because all of that portrayal was acted so well between a CG character in the palm of her hand.
Right.
Because you knew what Mern brought to the table. And then you see Amelia just like he was the leader, and then they passed the torch to her. She was the new leader. And I think that if they were giving Gunn total control over this thing, then he gets every single accolade possible for this.
I agree. If this is Gunn's fingerprint, then I think he should get the credit for this, and he's doing a great job. And I take back everything I said about John Cena and him not being a good actor, because I'm liking him in this role. Kevin asked, Gunn says he's developing a Suicide Squad spinoff. Wonder who? I think we theorized about this. Probably Ratcatcher.
Well, I said Ratcatcher like 2 weeks ago. It kind of. I mean, that's who I was I was throwing a real shot in the dark, real dart at the board on that one. So
as long as it's not King Shark, I'm cool. Like, I don't want a King Shark show unless it's drawn.
You can reiterate that for the record.
Yes, no King Shark. But yeah, I'm with you. That seems like that would be the character they would focus on the most. I don't think that you're going to get a show with Idris Elba.
I think that we are also limiting ourselves to only what we have seen.
Correct.
And I think that, he could go anywhere. So he had just corrected. Some outlet came and spun off of what he said in an interview and said that he was already making the second season of Peacemaker, which he is not. I do think that they are entertaining the idea. The downside is that Gunn is so fantastically awesome that chances are that he's a hard man to nail down for a schedule. So,
yeah. Kevin asked Vigilante. Maybe, but Vigilante isn't a Suicide Squad member, right? He doesn't have the bomb in his brain. He wasn't captured, as far as I understand it. I've never known him to be a squad member.
I don't want to see him without Peacemaker now that I've seen him with Peacemaker.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll say that.
I think that's a good sidekick combination there.
That we're best friends, but we know nothing about each other except one knows everything about one person and the other one knows nothing about the other one. Is such a fantastic dynamic. So it's interesting.
What do you think about Judo Master, man? He's got to be part of the team. Like, after the season, or maybe in the finale, he comes back and helps out. There's some reason that they're keeping this character around.
I think so here's the problem. Like, if you have no problem working with the butterflies, because clearly he had to know, I don't think you could not be someone in his position, even though he seems like he's just constantly eating chips and that's all that he does, that and fight. Like, those are the two. I feel like you'd have to know like who you worked for. And so if he knew, then I don't know where that would land him until like if he had to come up with a better idea. But
Kevin brings this up, and I was just about to ask
yeah,
if he is a butterfly, because how do you work for them and then not take you over? They're not scared of any human. They just took over the whole
yeah.
police force.
But he's eating human food, and that's a big red flag for me. Only because I don't think that they can consume human food. But I mean, they clearly take over human bodies, so I don't understand why they couldn't be able to process it. I'm just of the mindset that like once you're butterfly, you only eat goo.
I don't know. They said a line at the end. I think they said they can consume air and food, but it doesn't nourish them, and they have to have there. So I think they can consume it, but it doesn't give them what they need. So because you'd have to put up an act and eat sometime, I would assume.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
All he does is eat and fight. Like all he does.
Yeah, him being a butterfly would be weird. I mean, I could maybe. I can't say no, it's not happened, but it does make sense that I don't know if you could be around them and not be taken over by them. But
I don't know. I'm interested. I don't know where the finale is going to put us. I think that it's going to be a real good spot for. I like the feeling that they're giving. Like they're bringing the main villain to the front right now, and they're doing it in such a way like we have the police force. We are gonna teleport the cow. We're gonna do these things. Like we have all the power. Like we just need to get to you and kill you. I don't know what's gonna happen in the finale, and I like that. Like I knew what was gonna happen with the dad. I didn't know if they were gonna kill him, but I didn't know. All right, but I did know that the confrontation was gonna have to happen, and it did. I mean, dude, great episode. Because it did just enough to build everything for the next episode without involving the characters together.
Right. You took care of that B villain. Nothing else needed for it. Okay, well, let's talk about the Obadiah and Harcourt on this one. That was this is their moment to come together. You know, I guess Obadiah doesn't want to do this anymore. She's done with this, and rightfully so. I can understand. It's kind of a fucked up job. You know, I wouldn't want to do what she does either.
She doesn't want to do it from the beginning.
Yeah.
She only did because she had to.
Yeah, and then she comes up front about, planting diary and everything else. But of course, in the end, she turns around and she wants to be part of the team, which is good because I really like this character, and you knew it was coming. She's good at what she does. Yeah. I mean, of course. So why not? But yeah, man, the characters in the show are done really well. I like all the castings of everybody so far. I haven't seen anything I didn't like. I did think it was funny that whenever the his father's goons were chasing Peacemaker through the woods, they subtitled him as racist gang members. That's what they subtitled him as. I was like, that's pretty funny, but yeah, I mean, it's true. That's what they are, racist gang members. I just thought it was funny. That's how they word it, like no candy coating, nothing. Racist gang members. Like, that's great. But yeah, man, I'm really enjoying the show. Series finale next week. Season finale next week. Excuse me. We don't know. Peacemaker season 2 is definitely coming though. We don't know for sure. Or wait, did you say earlier he's already got the green light for it?
No, he has said that he would do it.
Wanted to. Okay, that's what I thought. I didn't think he said he'd gotten it.
No one has made anything yet. So
yeah. Speaking of having a shit parent, oh yeah,
talking
about Amanda Waller.
Yeah,
we knew Waller was a piece of shit going in.
Yeah,
like they've established that. Like Waller's a piece of shit.
Right. I feel like if it didn't take her away from her job, that she would just breed so that she could have her own little private military.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I mean,
and probably kill them all.
But, yeah.
All right, man. Well, we got the finale next week. Is there anything else you want to talk about on this episode? I should have taken notes on this episode. I'm going to take notes on the finale because there'll be stuff I definitely want to point out, and we'll kind of recap the whole season. I'm willing to bet. Well, Sarah's not going to be here next week, but she'll have to come back and give us some thoughts about Peacemaker. She's going to watch it. She's going to get into it. She's going to love it. I know it. She's going to be like, oh, I should have watched this. And I'm going to get her just like she is with me with Rebels. That's what I'm going to do. I'll tell her I'll finish Rebels and you finish these two. That's right. There you go. I found my out. So
it's honestly amazing. It's amazing how they turned around Peacemaker, because I say it every single time. He killed Rick Flag, and I was like, I don't need this character at all ever again. Period. Blah blah blah. I watched the first episode, and I'm like, okay, like I can see what they're gonna do. Then I watch the second one, the third one, the fourth one, and every time I watch the next episode, I'm like, holy shit. I mean, last week's episode was not this. Yeah, last week's episode was hilarious. Just the shit that comes out of John Cena's mouth. Him and Vigilante, they could
Timing.
those two could have a podcast, and it'd be absolutely hilarious to listen to.
Yes.
But I mean, holy shit!
I don't think I've ever seen the actor who plays Vigilante before.
I don't think so either.
I may have and not noticed it, but I don't think I have. Oh, I know one more point I wanted to bring up about it was good writing. Call back to I think maybe in the first episode with the hug with Eagly, where sees it now, and that's the moment where she turns around, where she decides
he records it.
Yes, and he gets a recording of it. But yeah, that was good writing. They called back to that moment, which that just seemed like a throwaway line at the moment, and then you come back to I guess you don't believe in miracles type thing, and she finally gets to see Eagly hug him, which is pretty cool. I'd be cool to be hugged by an eagle.
Well, just the simple fact that, and she told her girlfriend that too, which, I mean, now we know that Peacemaker is also like not just a straight character, but I mean, like, they're all over the place with this show. They do so much in this show that you just don't pay attention to. And it's amazing. But like when they point such a thing as like a fake eagle giving him a hug, and they do it so well. When that eagle comes back to life, he's sitting there praying for it to come back to life, and it does, and it hugs him. And then that process affects her. And then she's telling her girlfriend, she's like, I guess that means you can go be a badass again if that's what you want to do. But I mean, how all of the events just kept on adding on to each other it was so fluid that it didn't feel weird, but none of it was right. It was all weird.
Yeah.
The show does such a fantastic job. Like you said, the writing. I mean, the writing is just it's spot on between the writing and the way that he directs to the writing. And I'm pretty sure it's all him. I'm pretty sure Gunn gets most of all of the credits for all of this stuff. But I mean,
it's the only name I know of. But yeah,
I haven't dug too deep.
Of everything I've seen from him, it's the best thing I've seen from him. And he did Guardians of the Galaxy 1, correct? Which was one of my favorite movies. I did not like 2. This
I knew that was going as soon as you said it.
Yeah, I like this. I may be having more fun watching this than watching Guardians of the Galaxy, but I haven't watched Guardians of the Galaxy in a while, and that is an old favorite. It's a really good one, so I don't really know.
It's a good movie.
This may be one of his best. Those two are the best 2 things I've ever seen him do. How about that? Those are my favorite things by Gunn. Just he makes you feel for the characters, man, in both those. So he totally turned John Cena around for me. I'm loving this series so far. I'm excited for the finale next week. Like, when does this show come out? On Thursdays?
Yeah.
Okay. Because this is one that I watch right before we go because it's just so great to watch. I may actually watch this finale Thursday. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm excited for it, man. This is a character that I did not care or want. Now, I'll put it like this. There's certain shows that I see. Like, okay, you give me the Loki show. I hear about that. You give me the WandaVision show. And I don't want to just say, this has nothing to do with MCU DC. I'm just naming shows of characters that I heard that I was like, okay, I'd watch that, but I don't need that. And when I saw these other shows, I liked them. And I think Loki might have been my favorite of all of those. And I was okay, I really enjoyed that. This one was one that I not only was like, I don't necessarily need that. I did not want it. Like after seeing him in the movie, I did not want this show. And it's turned me around that much that I'm trying to get everybody else that was in my mindset, which was a lot of people, into watching this show. But like you said, it's the best rated DC property so far. Yep. I don't trust Rotten Tomatoes for everything, but when it's got a good score, that's generally a good thing. I'd recommend everybody check it out, man. You're missing out if you don't see it. This whole Peacemaker show. And Kevin asked one last question. He's asking if we think we get another Squad movie. Yes, I think we do. Probably not for a little while, but yeah, I think we do. I think they're going to work on building Squad characters up in television, and have a team up movie. Because
I don't want it. I'll be
I
honest.
don't
Like
want
I
it
don't want
either.
another Suicide Squad movie.
I don't want it either because they've been both of the squad movies have been kind of a miss for me. Like they're okay. I don't hate them, but they're at the bottom of my list of just about everything DC's done. I was and I know Ross, you were super excited for the first squad movie. I remember how hyped up you were for the first squad movie, and I think you got kind of let down
Glad
about
you
that
can
one.
remember because I don't remember that.
I do because I remember you hyped up at the advertisement, like because that was
Mm.
right when we'd seen Batman vs Superman. And
I thought they hit characters on the head, and I thought they were going to do a fantastic job with that. I do remember thinking that. I mean, clearly, like I beyond the sex appeal, like wanting to see that version of Harley Quinn was completely what I wanted because I thought that she portrayed a fantastic version of her being crazy. And then you bring in Will Smith, who's normally dynamite. All of the other characters I was totally on board for. And it had my boy Kinnaman playing Red Flag. So I was right there. And then I watched it and I was not wanting to be where I was at.
And prime example, that movie right there is not really acclaimed that well. It's not liked a ton. I'm not saying it's a terrible movie, and I know those people love it. That movie won an award. We were talking about the awards earlier and how they go to movies that are just like absolutely insane. That movie won an award.
Yep.
Of course, it was for costume, but still, and that costume was great. You know, Killer Croc looked great, but anyway, we digress. Peacemaker, check it out. If you haven't watched it, check it out. Season finale next week. We're going to cover it, wrap it up. What else we got next week? I'll have Reacher watched by then. Ooh. And I'm sure some more stuff's going to come out. There'll be something.
Let's see.
We'll start watching something or a movie.
Okay. Number one, I still haven't watched Ozarks. That's on me. Look, my past couple weeks have been very busy.
I get it.
Did you ever watch the first season of Raised by Wolves?
No.
Okay. Well, then I can't. I was not a fan of it. A lot of people love that show. I hear fantastic things about it. I watched it. I did not like it. Okay. The second season is out right now. We watched Reacher. Discovery is back as of yesterday. We get
so much catching up for me to do on that. It's just too many seasons. I want to.
Well, we get Picard, which you should watch Picard.
I don't know how much you know. The second season now, right?
Second season comes out the 3rd of March.
I might be able
10 episodes. I think the first season was 10 episodes.
That's on Discovery or Paramount.
Paramount. Yeah.
Okay.
I know there's more shows. I mean, you weren't big. I don't think you watched Vikings, but Vikings Valhalla comes out on Netflix. That's going to be good. We're going to have. There you go.
Kevin, man, you've been right on point at about the exact same time we've been saying stuff. Yeah.
I watched the whole thing, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you, like, the season finale of the Viking show was right here. Like, I was holding back allergies in my eyeballs. So
yeah. I want to say I heard somebody else telling me about the Viking show the other day. Very recently. Good, man. Yeah, so maybe
I was a big fan of the first part of it where they had the Ragnar Lothbrok story, and then it took me a while to get on board with them telling the story of his kids. But when I did, and like completing it was really good. I think I'm gonna let the Valhalla story get through its first season before I watch it.
Okay.
But it's Netflix, so they're probably gonna drop the whole thing. So Who knows? I may have a weird day. But the Viking story was really good. Like the first 3-4 seasons were fantastic. Definitely the first part. I assume he's talking about the Ragnar part. The Ragnar part was fantastic.
Probably, yeah.
Fantastic. But I mean, you get the Batman. Clearly just a movie. But I know there's going to be more stuff coming out next month. Halo, Moon Knight. They're at the end of the month. I don't know how. I'm assuming Halo's going to be a weekly drop. Moon Knight will most definitely be a weekly drop.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I mean, we keep going, dude.
Oh, dude, there's stuff all year. So I'm not worried. And like I said, if there's not new stuff coming out that we can cover, it's always fun to go back and watch something we've already seen before. Talk about it. So there will always be stuff to talk about. Yeah. And that's what's so funny is we used to do that a lot on this show is cover a lot of old stuff and then just new things that came out. This new show, we'd follow this new show and then cover this old thing, this old thing, and this old thing. Now it's more just covering new stuff because there's so much stuff out there now.
You're on the back end of a cause and effect. The cause being the pandemic that changed the way things are done, and the effect being that now we are getting a massive amount of things that they have been making because they know that people are at home. Mm-hmm. Not just at home, movies are coming out too, but we are at home and we want to see stuff. Mm-hmm. And no matter how big of a dumpster fire 2020 and 2021 were, 2022 is yielding the results of having so much stuff to watch because they know exactly what we're going to do and where we're going to be. Because I'm going to be at home. I mean, like, not all the time, but at the same time, like when I come home and sit down, it's not like the old days. I don't come home at 5 and watch the news and blah, 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 blah. But, whew.
Kevin asked, when does the YTD Star Wars movie coming out?
I don't think it has a date. I did do a brief follow-up on the movies that were coming out. So we definitely know that we're getting the YTD story. The Feige story is still, it's not up in the air, but it's still questionable on what's going to happen. The Rian Johnson trilogy is up in the air. Like, no one really knows what's going on with that. They still say that he's tied to having a trilogy with Lucasfilm, but I don't know what that's going to be like. Yeah. Oddly enough, what we do know is going to come out is that Rogue Squadron movie with who's Wonder Woman director, Patty Jenkins.
Yeah.
So we do know that she is back on it and she's ready to go, but we don't have a date on really much of the movies other than them being scattered every 2 years. And then I think them giving them December releases as of right now.
That sucks. Every 2 years, December releases. Give it to me every year. Mm-hmm. Why can't you give me one every year in December? I'll make Star Wars my Christmas thing, y'all. Just make it every year.
Because they're Hey, look, I'm all for having it Christmas. Look, when Force Awakens came out on Christmas, it changed my life. Like Disney, Star Wars, Lucasfilm turned into my December. I didn't read what that said. Was that?
He said he thought it got canceled. I think he might have been talking about the YTD stuff because that's what he asked.
Oh, so, no. The Rogue Squadron one got canceled. Patty Jenkins one got canceled. Oh. But she ended up dropping another. She had a scheduling conflict with another thing that she was going to make. So I think what happened was Lucasfilm pulled out a checkbook and they said, "Hey, make the movie." And she was like, "Okay, I'm going to make the movie." So it was back on. That was like like 2 weeks of bad news. Yeah.
That's exactly how it went.
No, that's definitely on. The Rian Johnson thing has not been officially canceled, so that's still up in the air.
Which one?
Here's the thing.
He did
Last Jedi, the controversial one.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Which, look, none of it would have been controversial if they just would have had a storyboard fucking story.
Yes.
All put together.
All the way through. Don't change it and change it and change
But hey,
it. All the way through.
The reason why they're not putting out a whole lot of movies is because they're doing the TV thing. And the TV thing is where it's at right now.
And it's working. You can't tell me it's not making them as money. Well, I don't know if it's making as much money as movies, but they got to be making a shit ton of money.
They are at 180 million subscribers, I think is what I read earlier today for Disney Plus. 180 million subscribers. Do you know how many people are in this country?
332 million.
Something right around there, right?
Mm-hmm. So actually, I know it's exactly that. I just looked it up the other day.
So right there, I mean, the world has 7-something billion people in it. I mean, they have a solid percentage of the world population. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
That's paying them monthly. Yeah. I don't know what you need. They're not going to the parks as much as they are sitting in front of their TVs. I can tell you that right now. Because when they introduced the price of that damn Starship Cruiser, blah, 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 everyone revolted against them. Rightfully so. Because why are you going to make something that only the elite can go to in this country? Man, oh man.
You just can't do it with Star Wars. Star Wars is our thing, man.
Yeah.
Give Star Wars to the rich people.
We will rebel.
Right. That's right. We will.
Built on hope.
Rebellions are built on hope, baby. That's right. My girl said that. Not Jen Orso, the actor, which I can't remember the actor's name, but I remember Jen Orso's name. So weird when I can do that. I can remember a character's name that an actor plays, but I can't remember the actor's name. It happens all the time. I guess because I don't hear their name multiple times.
Felicity, what?
I want to say Jones.
Jones. Yeah.
Is it Felicity Jones? Yeah, it is Felicity Jones. That's right, because we always had the Felicity Jones Daisy Ridley argument. That's right.
That's right. You have it. And I just choose Daisy Ridley.
It's not an argument. You're right. It's not. So, I mean, there's obviously a clear winner, but whatever. I mean, so.
It's been a good show, folks. Been a good show.
Now we're talking. Now we're going off everywhere. But you got anything else, man? Is there any other Star Wars stuff? Let's see.
I am wanting the Super Bowl to give me treasures, and I got to tell you right now,
I just want a good game.
I don't know what your thought is on it, and I don't know what your plans are Sunday night. But if we get some trailers, I'm gonna have some things to say.
Oh, we can do a surprise show Sunday night. Quick little talk about the trailers. I can do that after the game.
So
or maybe
just spitballing.
Yeah, I'm definitely down. Maybe we'll surprise everybody. I've only done that one time, and that was with Spider-Man that I saw? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, sometimes, man, you just want to get out there and say something. So I'm really hoping for the Obi-Wan trailer. If I get that, I'm not really care about anything else. I want to see some footage on Obi-Wan, and then I'll be happy.
That should be the place where we get the teaser. I don't know how much they're going to reveal from shows that are going to be close, but I think that since we have seen nothing from Obi-Wan, I think it's a perfect time. Not to mention, like I said last week, I think it's a big enough name for them to be like, oh yeah, we're going to drop some money for that.
And haven't they done that in the past, Star Wars? Haven't they dropped news about Star Wars during big football games, during Super Bowl and big football games? And they have like the Stormtroopers,
No, that's where we got the Force Awakens teaser.
That's what I thought, yeah. So, yeah. Who knows? Obi-Wan's going to be huge, man. It's going to be huge. They're going to make a big deal of it. He's the best character in Star Wars. It should be huge. Yeah, the best character in Star Wars. That's why my dogs don't know Qui-Gon
Jesus.
Jinn. That's right. Hey, whatever, man. Everybody might need a space Jesus. All I'm saying is, you can say anything you want to about any other character. Star Wars doesn't happen the way it happens without Obi-Wan. He's driving the whole ship. Everybody else is just along for the ride. He's driving the whole ship. You know, just saying.
What do you say? Trailer for Midnight is going to play. I'm actually interested in this because at the end of the day, MCU typically doesn't forecast too far out. I wonder, let's see, how many MCU properties do we have out right now? We're going to get Moon Knight. We don't have another show.
Are you talking about like shows wise?
You know what? It's possible we could get a teaser for Doctor Strange. I guess they would play the one that they had at the end of Spider-Man. That may show.
And the Moon Knight they're going to play is just going to be the one we've already seen. We just haven't seen it on TV yet. It's been on the internet, right? But we haven't seen a TV spot for it. So that'll be the big announcement to general audience. Typically,
they don't advertise more than two properties at one time. So I wouldn't imagine we get anything else other than that. I know that we're supposed to get the Lord of the Rings show trailer is supposed to drop. I did hear that was supposed to be a definite. And then we could see something else from Black Adam. Not positive, but those are what we're looking for.
Yeah, I'd love to see something else from Black Adam. It'd be really fun. Who knows, man? It's Super Bowl. It's funny because I don't think I paid attention to commercials for the Super Bowl for the last few years, but this year I'm excited to see if there's a trailer that drops. Luckily, this day and age, if I miss it, like literally 30 seconds later, I can go on YouTube. Somebody's already posted it. And I can watch it. So
that's the downside, is that you don't have to watch it. You can if you want to.
The Jordan Peele Nope movie. Now I heard about this. He's making another horror movie.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like Get Out. Isn't it's connected with that.
He's supposed to kind of be creating like his own little sidearm of his thriller or horror movies.
Okay.
I mean, I have not watched them. They're not my bag, but at the same time, like I know Jordan Peele makes some fantastic shit, so I'm not going to take away from anything that he makes. Just not my cup of tea. So I did hear that the Nope movie is supposed to get a trailer. Yes.
Okay. Cool. Well, man, I look forward to it. Dude, let's get out of here. I gotta get up early and go to work.
Yeah,
we talked about
we're
it
running
all.
long, man. Let's do it.
We are running long. Well, Ross, they can't find you anywhere but here, which is why you guys should come check out the show live, talk to us. Ross is a great guy to talk to, very knowledgeable guy, a lot of great opinions. One of my best friends, you know. And Ross, appreciate you coming on. You can find me at the Bat Daddy 52 on Twitter. That's my personal handle. Check out at SCS Podcast 1 is the show handle. Hit me up on either one of those if you want to contact us. We're here live every Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. Audio drops on Monday or Tuesday morning, depending on how busy I am. On any podcatcher of your choice, give us a like, give us a share, give us a thumbs up, a review, tell a friend, all that good stuff you're supposed to say whenever you're promoting your podcast. Get it out there. Tell a friend. We're getting more people in the chat room now, which is fun. Y'all tell a friend, tell them to come on. Give us suggestions for shows. We're down to talk about. I know Ross and I like to watch a lot of different stuff. So if somebody gives me a suggestion for something, I think him and I are both of the mindset we're going to give anything a chance for the most part. You know, don't give me like a string of porn to watch because I'm, you know, that'll take me way too long.
Says the guy watching Pam and Tommy.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's where I get my stuff from. But seriously, if you hit us up, we'll check out some stuff. And I like fan interaction. So there we go. But I'm getting out of here, man. Ross, as always, man, it's a pleasure to have you on. And I'll talk to you probably later on the night. But
just remember, it's never a bad time to rock.
It's never a bad time to rock. Actually, they did find one bad time to rock in that episode. But other than that, it's never a bad time to rock. So till next week, y'all. Keep pounding.
Later.